Chris, you ready? We're all ready to morb out.
It's
and have
Morbing
sex.
time.
It sure is Morbin time. It sure is. Oh, I can take out this text. Wait. Let's do that. Yeah. It is Morbin time. I'm morbing. You're morbing. We're all morbing.
We're all morbid.
Morb.
Do you guys have an idea for the opener, or do you want to try something funny? What are you guys thinking?
Yeah, I have no
have
idea.
an
Go,
idea.
go.
I have an
go.
idea. Okay. No, we'll do it. We'll do it when you do it. When you turn it on.
We're live.
I've got an idea.
We're already on.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, that was the signal.
Oh, hey, everybody!
No, keep going.
Yeah.
The big master plan.
And we've entered Morbin time, and I don't know how much of that song you heard or we can play, so I played like 3 seconds of it. So
okay, I was gonna give you a look. I was like,
yeah.
If he's gonna just cave the stream in by playing
That'd be
music.
really funny.
What was that song even? I just heard a guitar.
Oh, it was that was the intro to Mighty Morphin Power.
Oh
Power
yeah,
Rangers.
you gotta cut
From-
that then.
Yeah, you
That's
can't do that.
That was a reference to the Morbin time.
It's Morbin time.
It's Morbin time.
We, we're a little late to the train. Again, well, it's still kind of happening, but I think it's dying, right? We missed the 3 days of Morbius, the trending on Twitter.
Yeah.
Thing. Did you see the movie?
I did not watch it. Did you? Did you both watch it?
We both saw it. It was on Twitch. People were like streaming that shit for free. Someone's put it in GIF form.
Mm-hmm.
Without sound.
Okay.
And it's all there. Yeah, we saw it.
Can I ask you one question about it? Well, I've got
Yeah.
a few, but so with this Morbin time, I'd heard that they cut out Michael Keaton from the movie. Like they promoted it as being a Michael Keaton crossover, and then he's just not in it.
So he did, but not in the version we watched.
Oh. Okay.
You want me to spoil it? Like, cause I'll be real.
Yeah.
The movie's really fucking boring.
I'm not gonna watch it. Dude,
okay. Yeah, it's not even like a fun like bad movie thing. It's boring. There's only like one really good scene.
Oh, okay.
In my opinion, and it's the one that gets memed to death. Yeah, so okay, have you seen Spider-Man No Way Home?
I have, yes.
Okay, slight spoilers for Spider. That was another movie me and Nick watched recently. We'll talk about that later, I guess, but
okay.
Slight spoilers for the ending of Spider-Man No Way Home. Specifically after credits, the ending. In Morbius, Michael Keaton shows up as the Vulture in Morbland, in the Morbiverse, because it's still longer Venomverse.
Yeah.
In the Morbiverse, and apparently like calls him to Morbius, drives a car out instead of flying over to the location. And okay, no, let me start this. Michael Keaton bamfs in like with a heaven light into jail.
Okay.
In the Morbiverse. So he went from Tom Holland's thing into jail in the Tom Holland's jail into another jail in the Morbiverse. And they let him go because they don't know who the fuck he is. He doesn't exist in this universe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
the concession is because again, we'll get to it. We're gonna get to No Way Home, but
Yeah.
in that movie, the conceit is everybody who knows who Peter Parker is comes to one place.
Yes.
And they then said, "Yeah, but what if he didn't? What if we
What if
went
he
another
didn't,
way?"
though?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And then, but yeah, and they're all going. It's a one-way ticket.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning. You don't, and then at the end, you go back to your own universe for better. For whatever. By magic bullshit, and like, so that's not how that works. The Morbius thing, and so when he gets out, there's a second cutscene. There's a second scene in the Morb ending, in the Morb edits, where apparently Michael Keaton calls Morbius, and Morbius drives his car into a fucking desert. I thought he was gonna drive into a lake or something, because like the way they make it look at navigation, it's like it's the middle of fucking nowhere. And then he shows up, and then Michael Keaton flies in on his vulture outfit and gear, which I don't know how he got, because the Avengers don't exist in this universe. The alien invasion didn't exist. He couldn't have brought it over. He came in his jumpsuit.
Yeah, in the MCU, Shocker and Vulture only have their shit because they stole it from Kree aliens.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. And that's right, Ian. And then
I know what the canon is.
Yeah. And then he goes to Morbius. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I didn't mean to ruin the flow. Go ahead.
Okay. So he goes to Morbius, and he's like, I don't know why I'm here, but I think it has something to do with Spider-Man. And then Morbius goes, I'm listening, and he goes, I'm thinking about building a team, and then it ends. So it's really bad. Dialogue's bad. It makes Michael Keaton look bad, and sucks because he is one of the best villains in the MCU, in my opinion. But
chilling.
Yeah.
I think we said when that movie came out, like one of the strongest performances we had seen.
Yeah.
It's Michael fucking Keaton.
Yeah.
Right?
Next to
it's Birdman.
Huh?
Oh my god, why am I forgetting his name now in Black Panther?
Tom Holland?
No, in Black Panther.
Oh,
King...
Chadwick Boseman?
No, not Chadwick Boseman.
Michael B. Jordan?
Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, Michael B. Jordan being the other one.
What about Thanos? You like Thanos?
Thanos is a good one.
When he started twerking,
that was a legit good casting.
When he was flossing.
Yeah. So the ending comes off, and someone put it best, where they didn't know what the ending to Spider-Man No Way Home was, and they hadn't seen it, or they if they did see it, it's even more embarrassing because they didn't understand how that shit worked, even though they in that movie they like make it very clear.
Yeah, I think
how that magic shit, what the rules are. Anyway, that's just the ending to Morbius. The rest of Morbius is bad. It's boring. I zoned out a couple times. The dialogue starts off with like the two friends, Jared. I'm gonna start a pedophilia cult, Leto, with the other Doctor Who guy.
Yeah, number 11. Matt.
Yeah, to show they're good friends, but also intelligent. Every line is a witty quip that was perfect. To the last thing, and it's that for like a good chunk of the movie, and it's infuriating. It's insufferable, and you hate him both. Although I will admit the doctor, so his name is Milo in the movie, is probably the best part in that movie. Straight up, like probably the best.
Wait, his name is Milo Morbius?
No, it's Michael Morbius. Is his name?
Okay.
Milo's his friend that becomes a villain.
Okay.
It's boring. It's schlock. It's mediocrity. That definitely shouldn't be celebrated but we're getting a second one because of memes, and the memes are funnier than the movie. He does not say it's Morbin time, and he
Damn it.
does not say I'm Morbin or I'm Morbin over here. I'm about to morb.
Hey, I'm Morbin here.
Morbin over here. He slams on a taxi.
I'm more been here, and it is the pose, the hands, the
If you're-
different hands.
If you're gonna watch anything from this end, you gotta watch the scene where his character's name is Milo. I don't know who the actor is, but it's one of the Doctor Who people.
Matt Smith?
Matt, you think so? Probably. I don't watch Doctor Who. For real, that shit's boring and for nerds. I have no thing against Doctor Who, but in college I had so many people try to get me into it that I refused.
I had the exact same response to, like, do you remember that remake of Doctor Who that everybody like 10 years ago would not shut the fuck up about?
I think that's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't, I couldn't, I won't.
I don't
I
care.
won't do that to myself.
I don't care. I don't. If I'm gonna enjoy it, I don't care. I don't. Fuck you. I'm not gonna watch them. No. Anyway, he's like the best part of that movie, and he has the best scene, and it's him after he gets his powers, and then he's about to go clubbing.
Okay.
So and the scene is just him dancing and prepping himself, doing push-ups, all to a song where the chorus is "Have Sex," and that's it. You need to watch that scene. I will send you that scene. That scene.
Please do. Please do.
Best part of the movie: an oasis in a desert of mediocrity and boredom.
Let me ask you this: when you compare the "Let's Have Sex" scene with Milo Vampire,
No, it's not "Let's Have Sex." It's just "Have Sex."
Have Sex.
Have sex.
Have sex. Comparing that scene to the groovy, funky scene in Spider-Man, where Spider-Man got all the symbiote confidence.
Oh, in 3, yeah.
In 3, how do they rank? How do they compare to each other? Because I'm getting some vibes based on your description that feel very much like that.
I feel like the "Have Sex" one's funnier just because of the song. It's shorter.
Fair.
It's hard to top it.
Yeah, we're in 3. It's supposed to be like pretty. We weren't using the term cringy, but it was supposed to be that.
It was a dork's idea of what a cool guy is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's pretty much. I don't know. I don't got much more on Morbius. It's not worth your money.
I guess my only other question for the both of you now is prognosticating, is predicting. So, because it blew up on Twitter, a lot of people are saying they're probably going to do another one like they did with Venom.
They are.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
The internet doesn't get irony. Studios don't get.
Studios don't get irony. Yeah,
The people are very open about what they want to watch and experience. It's just it's now we have to adjust to the rich person's views.
Oh, right. Hey, never mind. I'm wrong. AV Club just put out. No, it wasn't green. It wasn't greenlit.
Thank God.
Oh, thank God.
They had to put out an article.
Fingers crossed.
Do you think that the Sinister, because they've been trying to fucking do Sinister 6 since
No Way Home got closest to it.
Yeah.
They got real close. I don't know. I think they're gonna try something with Venom. The Venomverse.
Okay.
Because that really, like, Tom Hardy's interaction with Venom is like another oasis in that like line of movies.
I would agree. Even in the little cameo, and again we can get to that later, but his little bit is delightful. It's a very charming scene.
Oh yeah.
Where you're like, oh, this is I would watch that. I would watch this gentleman argue with himself. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing they already hinted at with Carnage. And with Riot, I mean, the fact that Riot was like the first villain in the first Venom movie. I mean, if they could do Maximum Carnage, I mean Maximum Impact, and then just have like fucking like Riot and Thrash and Toxin and all that.
They could do that, Nick, and I hope for your sake they do. But we're gonna get a Morbius too, and that's what's gonna.
That's a bummer. That's a bummer.
No, so like I know unofficially, but like, come on. Or
so here's the thing I was leading up to, and then I don't know. Do you want to actually have Marvel talk later? Because I have thoughts, but I kind of want to come back to them once we've.
Yeah, we can have it later.
More of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Later. What was I gonna say? Oh, only other good scene in Morbius is when they destroy a counterfeiting operation, which by the way they level as, oh, this is my Morbius' excuse to harm people because they're counterfeiters. They're the worst, aren't they?
I can't think of a crime worse than counterfeiting.
They don't make me money.
They don't make me money. And after he like stops their operation, he tells one of them that he's Venom, and then leaves. And I'm like, all right, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, but anyway, Morbius is a 5. It's not enjoyable.
Okay.
It's not worth your time.
Okay.
Things have to be on extremes in order to be entertaining. Is what I found, or at least that's my rule.
Nice.
I get that. Yeah.
Although one could argue mediocrity is the sign of a healthy art form, but I'm not gonna pay $20.
I'm honestly kind of like the Sony movies for me, from the ones I've seen, because I saw the two. I've seen 2 Venom movies.
Yeah.
And both times I was like, the first time I was like, well, I'm not going to do that again. And then I did it again, and I was like, why? Why did you make this? You knew what you're gonna get. I kind of like the feeling of watching a film that is like unambiguously bad, because like there's so many movies, and I think you and I have talked about, that are like so middling, that you get kind of numb.
Yeah.
Like you start to feel like
I feel like I'm held hostage.
Yeah, I feel like I'm being held hostage by this mediocrity.
Yeah.
That is inescapable.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So it's kind of nice to have something that's just dog shit.
Yeah.
Makes me really appreciate the good stuff.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nick, any your thoughts on Morbius? Because you like Spider-Man.
Do I? Okay, well, I mean, I like Spider-Man. Even back then, I didn't like Morbius.
No one likes Morbius. That was another thing, right? Because me and you were kind of amazed they chose Morbius.
Yeah, he sucks.
Because he's fucking Michael Morbius, the living vampire, is like this less than C tier villain.
Yep.
He's less than Shocker.
Yeah.
Can I tell you what? Okay. There's one version of Michael Morbius that I have liked ever.
Is it the cartoon?
It's when Tim Curry was on the animated Spider-Man in the 90s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
That's perfect.
It's the best version.
And honestly, you know what? MCU, if you really got to take it away from Sony, give it to Tim Curry. Give it to
Didn't he pass away?
80-year-old Tim Curry.
Tim Curry?
Is Tim Curry alive? I thought he passed away last year.
No.
Oh no. I think he's away. I think he's alive. Is he?
What?
Why do I keep thinking that? No, he's alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
This happened to me This happened to me a couple months ago where I thought he was dead.
Nope. I think he's fine. For now, he's fine. Yeah, give us an old vampire that's alive, played by Tim Curry, please.
I just want a clue too, so we can find out what the canon ending is.
Yeah.
What do you want to bet that Marvel had a look at that edit and they were like, "You're gonna cut that fucking shit out right now? No, you can't use it. No, 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 no."
Oh, dude, I don't know. Like, probably a lot. But yeah, man, Morbius sucks. Should we move on?
Yeah, let's.
I feel like we're anyway, but I hope
Keep
if they
him.
ever make it. I just want to get this joke out because I stole it from some guy on Twitter, and whoever.
Okay.
Actually, no, I think it was Adam Keats on Twitter. He's a fighting game guy. Where he said on Morbius 2 should be released next year on Memorial Day.
God damn it!
And I went, yeah.
Right. So when they bring the the shrines or like the fucking funeral epitaphs, it should have next to the last name on it, Dr. Michael Morbius, and it has said the date for the next movie coming out.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But yeah, Morbin time. The beams are way better than the movie.
Yeah,
it's a lot more fun.
It's
a very horny movie too.
That's okay. I especially with that guy in the lead. No,
yeah, the camera wants to fuck all the characters.
Oh,
danger.
Yeah.
I was surprised at how, and actually, on reflection, I was surprised at how horny the Venom movies were. They were also pretty surprisingly horny.
Yeah.
Right.
Very horny.
No.
But it's PG-13 horny.
Yes. It's over the jeans horny.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to transition to weeks, I watched something that was unintentionally horny.
What did you watch?
I watched and finished all the seasons of Castlevania.
Oh yeah, nice. You want to do a spoiler cast or small spoilers?
Sure, yeah.
Let me put on a text box.
Since all my thoughts and feelings are a bit raw.
Raw. Yeah, we all know those are the best thoughts and feelings.
Yeah, not when you think about it. It's when you have the feeling and then you just say it.
It comes right out of the chest, right out the truth hole. I'm powering it out here.
Yeah, that's my America.
All right, and then boom. Isn't this centered? It should be centered. Hey, there we go. All right, you're safe.
Okay. So, the best part of that entire show is the 10-minute monologue from Isaac in the third to last episode.
Part of the show.
So, what a terrifying speech.
It's so good. It's such a good monologue.
I actually got uncomfortable watching it.
It's weirdly beautiful. And but it is horrifying and uncomfortable. But it's one of those you're thinking about. And you're that's actually a really good life lesson.
We'll talk a little bit about the substance for everybody.
So Castlevania as a series is essentially the studio powerhouse trying to do a spin. No, I'm sorry, not trying. Definitely did a spin on the whole Castlevania lore, but then also expanding on certain things that are not really considered in the first couple games. There's some hints to Symphony of the Night, but it's definitely focused more on the first two games.
So specifically, the second one is the
especially in 4 because the whole thing with Alucard.
Yeah.
So I know that given the setup for going into the 4th season, you had the setup for the vampire sisters trying to, at least attempting to have some reign over the land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the inner struggle was just like how much, like, and how big the scale of that would be, depending on like the sister.
Yeah.
Which I thought was cool. I mean, I think, everyone's definitely likable in some degree. They're definitely good on that.
Yeah.
But
or at least fascinating.
yeah,
Yeah.
like Isaac, and the whole arc with Isaac is to me beautiful.
Isaac's arc's
like,
the best part of the show.
yeah, the whole speech he has, and then like the conversation he has with the pirate captain, who's voiced by Lance Reddick, which was freaking beautiful.
Yeah.
Lance Reddick is Lance Reddick, and yeah, no, who plays Isaac is
I'll
incredible.
look it up. Yeah.
Yeah, they all did an incredible job, but I am surprised how little, despite how much focus there was on Isaac, how little he ends up playing a part at the end.
Yeah. In the grand scheme, yeah.
Yeah. And it ends up being fucking Varney the vampire, ends up being Death.
Yeah,
I thought
that was weird.
that was weird. That was a very weird, like, out of nowhere reveal, because it wasn't really hinted that he was like,
It was that it was specifically him. Death was gonna show up,
for sure.
and that was made very clear.
I thought it was gonna be Isaac, but that he would at least like meet Death to talk about like
interesting.
the value of life. But I get why they made the choice. I think it was definitely because like they need to have the big battle, like the big confrontation.
Yeah.
And they obviously weren't going to get it from Saint Germain.
Yeah.
I will say like visual. Oh,
okay. I was just gonna say the actor for Isaac, and I know I'm gonna mispronounce this. Is added to Kumbo McCormack. The only other stuff I've seen him in is he was in Blood Diamond, Lost.
No.
He does a lot of voice acting, so there you go. Blood of Zeus, Glitch Text.
Nice.
It's in Call of Duty. A lot of voice acting, but yeah, he's the best part of that show.
Yeah, easily. And then like when he has that also conversation with the demon, who is formerly a scholar.
Yeah, it's great.
That was great. And then the whole thing of like, instead of destruction, we must rebuild.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, when he just says he's gonna live now, it was fucking, that was terrifying. I always thought it was gonna be, especially the way it was going, I assumed like they were gonna meet, fight, and then they would all team up to face Death, because that's like the ultimate being. But instead, it ends up kind of, I don't know. I'm still not too into that twist and that ending.
Yeah,
as much as I really like it visually.
Yeah, visually, it's a fucking killer fight.
Yeah, so that's the one I was spoiled on my old class, because like they had like the teachers there.
Yeah.
Like director there showing off like how he did it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But, yeah, I just didn't know the context at the time. So now that I have the context,
it made less sense than what you thought.
I mean, yeah. that happens, yeah.
Yeah.
But sorry, I was trying to dump like as many.
Yeah, keep going.
So the whole thing with like bringing back Dracula,
yeah,
I think I like the build up more than the actual moment.
Interesting.
I think I just liked seeing like how desperate not only vampires but like other people were for Dracula to come back.
Yeah.
It was obviously just the idea of him, rather than in reality Dracula was just a man seeking revenge for his wife.
Yeah.
And now that they're together in hell, there's no he's not like fighting to get out of hell.
Yeah, no, he has actually what he wants.
Yeah.
Like straight, like there was nothing more. After he met his wife.
Yeah.
Just
But
okay.
yeah. That and then like Dracula's castle being vacant, and then like the whole thing with Alucard in the beginning, I thought was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like sitting there every time there's a fight in the castle. I'm going, flip it. They gotta flip it. They gotta flip it
Yeah, they gotta
eventually.
flip the castle.
But they never did.
I
That'd
think
be
they
too
hint at
much.
it too.
They did.
Yeah, I think there's a comment somewhere that it flips. But yeah, so Castlevania, yeah, no, the show's really great. The writing's spectacular. The Vampire Sisters are really like, it becomes the thing where that part of the story becomes like a little bit more interesting than Alucard's side.
Yeah.
Where the Vampire Sisters are all they're obviously tied because they're vampires and the main resource being humans. And dealing with the problem that this shit's gonna run out, it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
There's just humans don't there's not gonna be enough. And they even have like hint at farms. They're not gonna reproduce fast enough to supply like if you make any more vampires.
Yeah.
So there's like this also thing of like it's an impending what's it called? Extinction that they feel.
Yeah.
And then Isaac kicks the shit
Oh, dude.
out of them.
Like the whole fight with him and Camille was fantastic. I
Yeah,
love
it's
the
rad.
setup.
It's rad. It's a rad fight. Especially because you don't really get to see Camille like really go at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. I like Isaac's character a lot. I think I like that philosophical idea of moving on, like in the way he approaches it. At least in the line of thinking. Murdering. Well, I mean, they're vampires, so like, they're killing a bunch of people. So I don't know. Murdering's cool.
Isaac's definitely a protagonist because he has like
oh yeah,
and
he's
is a victim
probably
of.
more. Yeah, he's with a really fascinating like just origin, like his whole life, right?
Yeah.
And just the whole thing of he has every right to be angry, like every right, and but he does fulfill his goals, and it's mainly just to be like so there's no ties, as opposed to revenge, right?
Yeah.
It's a fascinating, and of course the animation's good. Although I think they finally kicked out Warren Ellis after the allegations.
Oh, for writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if he wrote that last season. That's the one thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's in essence a compliment. Like Ellis has such a distinct style.
Yeah.
Like I remember back when the show started and we were talking about the writing, and I was like, "Oh, this is super Warren Ellis-y."
Oh yeah. Yeah. To the point where like it's good. It feels like someone's also reeling him back for better. Like,
oh, definitely. No, I think like especially like in season 1, I had to take breaks, not because of the like I thought it was visually really good, but the dialogue started to make me feel like, okay, I get it.
Yeah. Especially at the season 1, season 2's dialogue. But then 3 and 3's like the best one.
Yeah.
I think season 3 is like legit the best season.
Okay.
Well, season 4 technically too, right? Because season 1's the 3-episode pilot thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, well, I say allegations. I think it was proven with Warren Ellis. I'm not sure. I haven't checked up on that.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I don't know because I know for the allegations, I know some of them had like actual accounts and like actual witnesses to
Yeah.
to some of the things, and I think
Okay.
it was just one of those like unspoken things because he was like
Yeah.
they
And I
really
believe
wanted
that.
him, so
That happens way too often that I believe it. Like,
yeah.
Um,
Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, so I'm totally in the dark to this.
okay.
So this is a Whedon-esque thing, or is this a Spacey-esque thing?
I want to make sure. Hang on. I want to get this right. This was a while ago.
Okay.
As there's the whole
June 20th, predatory behavior and sexual misconduct.
That's not good. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
still bad. That's the bad shit. Bad times. Ugh. Damn it.
essentially it's how to describe it? It essentially is like using your celebrityism to pressure into like sexual relations.
That's a bummer.
Power abuse. Yeah.
Because there have been cases where some people in very awkward private conversations has used celebrityism to try to like get
leverage.
approval.
Right.
But if they're uncomfortable, the evidence always goes, "Oh, okay, my bad," and then it just stops there, right? Like any human being.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's awkward and shitty, but at least like when they say no, they stop. But in Warren Ellis's case, he just kept pressuring.
That's not.
I mean, either
not,
way,
so it's a Whedon-esque thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, either way, it's bad, gross. You should never do that because it's power. Not only because yes, it's gross and bad, but also like the abuse of power, right? Like just having anything.
Yeah.
Over. Anyway, I think those are still going on. So take that if you're thinking about watching Castlevania, remember that.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, as much as like the first two seasons are very like you see his writing, I think in the third and fourth, it's whoever else they got to help out obviously reeled a lot of that shit back.
Yeah.
And it's actually the last two seasons are the best seasons, like by far, I think.
Okay.
Even though Dracula's great.
Yeah.
In the first two. But yeah. It's good. Good show. Anything else, Nick? Or
well, in terms of Castlevania itself, I think we covered most of it. I guess the only things would be like bringing up like the cool callbacks to Castlevania 2 and like some of the shots. But no, overall, I really like this season. I absolutely agree. Isaac's the best part of that show.
Best part of the show.
And if they do decide to do a spinoff, I know like Netflix been fighting with Powerhouse for a spinoff, but a spinoff where they can keep the staff and like not hire like a third party is what the issue is right now. So I hope at least like if they do a spinoff, they get the original work because they're clearly doing something right. So
yeah. And that who knows what that is right now because Netflix just got rid of any animation stuff.
Oh my god,
me, guys.
Yeah.
Damn.
So you know what? That's an optimistic view. Is what I would say.
Yeah.
And I hope you're right, Nick. I hope they do that.
Well, yeah.
We can't have anything. Is what I'm saying. Yeah, fuck that.
So yeah, it's fucked up. So next thing is I read next bit. I read a couple things, a lot of manga and books and light novels. I'll start with some of the stuff I'm halfway through, and then talk about the stuff I finished. I'm halfway through reading the original novel series for Welcome to NHK.
Oh, tight.
Which is very, very different feeling and I guess vibe. Yeah, vibe is definitely the best way to describe it. Like it's a very different vibe from the anime and the manga. Even it's bleak. It is like, I think because now you're seeing like his entire thought process of these conspiracies and how he gets to NHK.
That's fair.
And
Yeah, you get
yes,
to really explore it, like in writing.
yeah, because like in the show, like he has so many moments that he could like escape it, but I think it's just the paranoia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think at the last time we spoke, you had told me that like there's also a lot more like sinister. He comes off as a lot less sympathetic as he does in the anime.
Oh
like,
yeah. Not like, not in a creepy way, but more in a like he's really self-destructive.
Okay.
It's definitely not BoJack extreme, but still.
Okay.
It's at least that's always like the key point in a lot of the situations. It's like it's obviously on him and his paranoia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like,
can I ask something real quick?
Yeah.
Does the book have the thing of like, maybe he did know what the ending was, right? Like what the author what the ending was going to be. But do you feel like he extended it to make more manga volumes, and therefore stuff had to become more unsympathetic, and he had to be more self-destructive in order to
Yeah.
return to zero?
I can definitely see that.
I mean, I wouldn't know,
It's
right? Like if
Yeah.
you would just have to be there, but
No, yeah, for sure. I definitely think some of it was like, I know in the manga they definitely exaggerated like the scenes where he got really fat and took heroin.
yeah.
But I think some of that could have been cut down, or I thought to myself, well, he just, I don't know, am I supposed to feel bad for him at that point?
Yeah.
Right.
That, at least in the manga, I got confused, but in the book, at least you like see his thought process and like him going to the like space of conspiracy, and then like seeing him like go through the entire process of paranoia and like how people are.
Hang on, Nick. Ian, you got like crinkling sound going on.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh. How's that?
It's fine. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say it's definitely not as like, I know like some people were a bit turned off by the like weird like sexual undertone he had sometimes
Yeah.
in the
You mean
show.
with that 18-year-old, or what was she, 17?
Yeah, no, she was at the end of high school, so she was like 17, yeah. And he was like, well, he was like 28, yeah, 28.
Yeah, it's weird.
Cool.
But in the novel, like he definitely has that moment, but then it's immediately cut off and they don't bring it up again.
No, and the
So I
anime
thought
doesn't really do that.
the anime definitely like pushes it. Sometimes
It's like
it's
the
definitely
biggest flaw of the anime.
Listen, he's a good guy, you guys. He could have, but he didn't, right? Like, so like he's like cool, right? Like he's really cool.
Yeah, I think the anime definitely made him more sympathetic, but in the book, like he is just super self-destructive. Definitely not BoJack level, obviously, like I said before. But even when he's interacting with her, like he has that moment, but then it's immediately like cut away. I think it's like a sentence or two. So it definitely reminds me of when I was reading Monogatari series, where the anime kind of did that. They kind of extended and exaggerated.
Right.
And I feel like the message ends up being lost because of that moment, like that sake of like a humorous moment,
right,
or comedic moment. But yeah, I mean, I'll definitely, I'm definitely gonna finish it because I do love Abe's writing, especially with Lane and Red Mice. So yeah, I'll definitely get to that. But overall, like I'm loving it. I think I like it more than the show.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
The show's good.
All right.
Yeah.
What else did you read?
And then thank you, Chris. So
You're
what else
welcome.
I've been reading?
No segues here.
No segues.
God forbid.
Okay.
God forbid Chris come up with something creative to move to the next thing. I'm sorry, Nick. Go ahead.
I read
to the next book.
The next book, and the next book is We Stand on Guard, the spin-off from Brian K. Vaughan, the creator of Saga and Why the Last Man, where it's a historical fiction.
And it has an ending, right? Because it's a short story. Sorry, go ahead.
How long is this project? I'm I'm curious. How long?
Oh yeah.
It's 7 issues, but like in the book, it's like 40
it's a
pages.
Volume, yeah.
40,
it's a
50
volume.
pages.
What self-restraint has he learned? Oh my god!
Is it just that and Pride of Baghdad?
No, I think he has one more, but yeah, yeah, he doesn't finish things.
I love Brian K. Vaughan, but man, I'll die before my great grandkids will tell me like what volume 100 of Saga is.
Or Ex Machina.
Yeah, or Ex Machina. Why the Last Man is still going, right?
That blew my mind.
I think Shia LaBeouf is writing it now. Yeah, he gave it over to the EP on the show, and yeah.
And Doctor Strange is still going, and he wrote a stint on that. So it's always a problem, right? Like I love I like Brian K. Vaughan's writing. Just don't expect closure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, actually, I don't know what else to say to that. Like, it is what it is.
So we stand on. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, We Stand on Guard.
Yeah.
Is a historical fiction of what if Canada bombed the U.S. and U.S. bombed Canada, and they go to civil war. And essentially, it's the story itself takes place in Toronto, and then it's pretty much like a whole kind of like Walking Dead. First couple issues where it's a journey to like a lab, or like journey to like essentially it's a revenge story. And it just follows someone who was like there for the first bombings in Canada, and then it's her going to like meet a militia, and then they go and fight the government of the U.S.
Yeah.
I didn't know going into it that a lot of the artists were people that were working at Marvel at the time, and that was like their first comic. Like that's like the only credit for working on a comic.
Oh,
and it definitely shows. Like everything is massive. Like the scaling for the mechs are pretty impressive. Like how much they fit on a page. But yeah, they're all like crazy wolf like style robots, or like moose style, like moose design robots. Like, or there's like crazy like derogatory slang they have for each other, which is crazy. Like all the U.S. military call Canadians moose fuckers.
It makes sense. Checks out.
Sure.
And then for Canada, I think for the U.S. they call them like
dam builders.
Yankee
should have
pigs.
been another Canadian thing. Sorry, good, because they're
No,
beavers.
you're right.
Anyway,
dam builders. Get over here, you dam builder. You can't say that word. No.
Only we can. And go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, it's K. Vaughan style. Like he's really good at like the leading chapter thing, or like leaving a hook.
Yeah.
For each chapter.
Yeah.
So it's always like a single wide panel or something to hook you into the next issue. I mean, yeah, you just get a really good. It definitely reminds me of Alien in the type of like group style they have, like the militaristic, but also like the ragtag team. And ne'er-do-wells, and like very, very different backgrounds, which I really liked. Because you had some people that used to be super rich, but then like got their family destroyed and became poor because of the bombings, or you have some people that were just entirely like army children, like were raised from beginning to end from the war.
Okay.
And he does a really cool job like showing that, like the different perspectives.
Yeah.
But other than that, like the giant mechs are fucking sick. Like the set pieces are really cool, and yeah, they make the US complete monsters.
Makes sense. I get that.
Yeah.
Me, I can't. I
Yeah.
sure love Uncle Sam. Can't. No, not a bad thing to say.
Okay, so a slight spoiler because I do think it's a really good line.
Okay.
Towards the end, the main character confronts the head of the military in the U.S. that are invading Canada, and
Yeah.
then the government says we don't want any more tryhards or any more like people that think they're heroes to stop what you're doing. And then the main character goes, "In war, you don't get heroes, you get me." And then yeah,
That's pretty
Nice. Good line. Good
good.
line.
9.
but yeah, it's good. Saga won't end. Why Last Man won't end. Ex Machina won't end.
I can't believe Why the Last Man is still fucking going.
Wait, I thought you guys were joking. Genuinely? I thought it ended like 10 years ago.
No.
He takes
It's going.
Yeah.
It was on hiatus for 10 years.
Fuck me. Jesus Christ.
Okay. He started back like when the show was coming out.
Wait, hang on. Okay, it said it stopped March 2008. But I'm gonna double check something because I think they came out with another thing.
Yeah, okay.
Do you want me to wait or?
Oh no, you can keep going. Yeah, maybe it didn't.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
Where?
Thanks, Chris.
Took 6 years.
Took 6 years. Okay. So yeah, it's good. I mean, if you get a chance to read them, always one-offs are really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his one-offs are really, really good.
Yeah. And then the next thing I read was I never got to read his early stuff, so I started reading Brian O'Malley's Lost at Sea, the first published work before Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
That one is probably my favorite of all the stuff I read so far because he is I don't know, Brian, he's really good at like group settings, and he's really good at like highlighting people's characters, and like he definitely loves the booth restaurant setting, so like he kind of like does that to like show off each character's like distinct personality.
Right.
Which sounds silly, but yeah, you definitely
I'm Brian
see
O'Malley. I like talking in diners. You know where people like talking? Diners. So that's where they're gonna talk.
Exactly. It's it was definitely pretty. You can definitely see someone's like style of, like slowly coming down their first work, and seeing like what they choose to focus more on. Like there's it's really interesting how he sort of hints at the main characters, like, or the reason why there's this road trip to move away from California to Oregon in the story. This is all back in like 2006, so they were like, there's some like dialogue that's definitely of its time.
Okay.
But it also makes sense because they're all kind of really rude or like very out there people that are a bit out of touch.
Okay.
Which he does highlight. So yeah, Lost at Sea definitely is probably my favorite of his work, as much as I love Seconds and Scott Pilgrim. I think mainly because like the situation, what's revealed at the end to be the main character's struggle and what she's keeping from her friends and herself is very real, and it's a very serious situation. But her whole story is she beating herself up for not like recognizing it. But then people point out that you were a freaking child. Like, how could you have figured out? How could like someone expect so much
of you?
Yeah. And you definitely see her dissociating from her trauma. You definitely see her not engaging as much, and even going to catatonic state at the end, towards the end of the story. And just the way they do like the slow cooker burn, like they kind of like slow, like there's just one single thing she says, and they kind of just focus on it, and then it just escalates to her reveal, and Yeah, I think because of that, it definitely reminded me of like Raymond Carver in that style.
Okay.
I definitely had to reread it like 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
Um, I'm curious to what was the reference or like what he was like trying to emulate the most with his first work. Um, so I feel like Seconds After Scott Pilgrim is like taking that sort of story and kind of like taking it to like, okay, what if now they're like in their 20s instead of just turned 18?
Okay.
Okay.
But I would definitely recommend you guys Lost at Sea. I think it's great. I think it's a very serious, real situation that
Mhm.
I know a lot of people were in their teenage years, sadly. Yeah, and luckily because of Brian Lee O'Malley's writing, like everyone's really interesting. Everyone is just trying their best, and yeah, it's really good.
Huh.
Cool.
Okay. Nice.
And then the next thing I read was I finished reading All You Need Is Kill, which was the manga that
Mhm.
inspired the movie Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
That one's actually really good. I actually really liked it. I know it's definitely better than a movie in terms of
Okay.
story.
Yeah.
It reads fast. Like I was surprised how fast it read, given how big the overall like volumes are. I think it's like a total of like 500 pages, but it reads really fast, and it's a very very condensed story. The art and the writing is done by the creator of Death Note, so it was cool like seeing him do the style of like mechs and like doing his own style of science fiction.
Oh, that does sound cool.
Yeah, so I know in the movie it was more military grand scale type of story, and then they sort of hinted at a
Yeah.
romantic
Right.
relationship.
Right.
But in the manga, it's it's the complete opposite. Like the military only show up, I swear, for like 5 pages,
Okay.
and then the rest is him
Because
well,
we're
I
Americans, we need the military, the guns.
yeah,
They're the only one who keep us safe.
finally. I gotta look at that Hummer. Look at that giant Hummer you can ride if you
My
join the
big,
army right now.
beautiful.
Best scene in that movie is when he gets run over by a Hummer.
That's pretty great.
Because it sounds so visceral when it happens. Anyway, they're romance manga.
Yeah. Well, because
Lovey
the
dovey.
twist towards I guess spoilers, I guess, but yeah, the twist in the middle is that she also is in a time loop,
Okay.
and then she but her thing is that she essentially has gone through it so many times that she just like disassociated with people because I guess like it's the whole nihilistic thing of like, well, there's no point in interacting if they're all just gonna die
Yeah,
Right.
like the movie.
in the movie. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly like the movie. And
I
then
saw it.
yeah, no, we saw it together. And
What?
okay, never mind.
No,
I'll get through it, Chris. Don't worry. I won't talk too much.
I mean, man. I didn't say no. I didn't say nothing. I was just saying like the movie.
It's like the movie. Yes.
Nothing more.
Okay. Well, it's definitely more serious. It's definitely way more of a serious tone than the movie.
Okay,
There's
I believe that.
rarely any comedic moments.
Yeah.
There's definitely I will say there's definitely a very interesting moment where the main character like essentially goes through the loop so many times that he ends up having his own moments of dissociation. And then what ends up happening is he ends up getting into a fight with a random he was like a random sergeant in a cafeteria in the mess hall
Yeah.
where it's literally like, oh, you you got a problem or something, like what are you looking at? And then like it's some dude's like trying to start something, and then and the main character is essentially like, I can kill you right now, but like I don't have time for this because I need to train. And then he's literally like he's literally like dodging every single like physical like punch in this fight, and then
Yeah.
yeah, that part, yeah, it's definitely really interesting. But yeah, definitely the highlight of that is the romance and like how they slowly like show both of them like relating to that isolation. Not only that, but like of war itself. Yeah, no, it's really good.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
All
right. I think that's it for me.
I don't know, Nick. If you do one more, you'll hit the hour mark.
Come on, squeeze one out.
You have 2 minutes. You have 2 minutes.
Really? Did I take up an hour?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's 10 o'clock.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's all right.
No,
no.
Genuine. Oh well.
I know we were enjoying it. Well, yeah, whatever. Ian.
Yeah.
How's your month?
Ian, this is too early. Why can't we do this later?
Nick promises he'll go faster if we do it later.
Well, all right, guys. So, I've got some stuff that I feel like we can all talk about, but I'll start with the more kind of funky stuff. I went back to watch some old schlock movies.
Nice. What'd you watch?
It's been a stressful one, and those are my happy place where
I get you.
I can just unwind. So I watched this movie called Neon Maniacs, which is from '83.
Okay.
And it's written, directed, and acted by fans of Fangoria magazine. So it's really cool, and it's what's really interesting. One thing that I think is worth noting is all the young people in this movie. So for everybody out there who's watched movies from the '80s, if there are teens in a movie in the '80s, they're played by 33-year-olds.
Yeah.
But in this movie, the teens are like, they look 12. They look like goddamn like infants.
Okay.
But the movie is essentially about a teenage girl who wants to become a monster movie maker.
Yeah.
And then there's a magic truck that's parked under the San Francisco Bridge that is a doorway to a demon dimension. And then the movie is largely just like an excuse to have like lots of themed killers in one movie. So you get like a surgeon guy, you get like an army guy, you get like a snake monster. It's some cool stuff. It's some fun stuff. If you're somebody who likes like that old practical effects, it's just such a kind of, this is a weird way to describe it. It's a very healing movie to watch. It's like, yes.
I am blessed.
I am blessed.
I managed to find it on online, free to stream.
Okay.
I don't know that anybody has the rights to it anymore. And honestly, the way that I had heard about it, and now I'll tell you all a spooky story, is the lead actor in the movie who plays, I think Jen, who's the main character. That was her only credited role ever. She, was a regular writer to Fangoria magazine, and so like the magazine made kind of a big deal about, this girl who's been writing us letters, she's in a real slasher movie. Isn't that cool? And then at some point in the 90s, she was never seen or heard from again. She just disappeared. And it's like one of the most unexplained, like, just literally just nobody knows where she went or what happened. Mm-hmm. And so it's been like a classic Hollywood mystery that Fangoria magazine didn't exploit to sell magazines. So that's good.
Yeah. That looks interesting. I'll probably dig it.
It's a pretty cool one. I think that would be like a one that you watch in a room and talk over slightly because it has, you know what I mean?
No, I know exactly what you're talking
about. Yeah.
Okay. Hang on, I'm sorry, Ian. Before we move on to the next thing you saw,
yes.
You guys cool if we take like a 2 or 3 minute break? I just got to use the bathroom.
No, go for it.
All right, sweet. Cool. We'll be back in 2 or 3 minutes.
All right.
There you have it. I assumed you were. Oh shit.
What?
Well, they didn't hear that great joke because they still had you guys muted, but hey.
God damn it. It was very funny.
It was very funny.
It was very funny. We were both whip smart wits.
We both had a guffaw. Some Morbius level dialogue.
Oh, it was some banter. It was some A-class banter, guys. It was Gilmore Girls good banter.
Yeah.
So I've gotten to sit down and watch some TV. I'm not all the way caught up with Owl House.
Okay.
But I'm like 4 episodes further in.
Okay.
And boy, you're absolutely right, Chris. They sure did get a notice. The show's ending.
Yeah, you can feel it, huh? Like...
Well, one of the episodes I watched, the B plot was loose thinking that her favorite writer was traveling between worlds.
Oh, okay. I know what episode you're talking about. I think he has a fairly recent one.
And the resolution was just like, hey, remember these two pieces of shit? Well, there they are.
That's what
if
they're
you
doing.
wanted to see them again, there they go.
Just making plagiarizing copies.
Yes. But yeah, like the show definitely has the feel of shoving in, like, yeah, we really wanted to do more with this person, so there you go. We had
there you have it.
There you go. Oh, the nose one? She has a name now. Stop asking us, please.
I did like that bit that they didn't, that no one knew she had a name.
Yep.
They never say it because I like that nose character a lot. I don't know who does the voice, but it's like that's great.
It's good stuff. Yeah. I'm very excited. I think it's great world building. My understanding of the last so you're all the way caught up on that show?
I'm all the way caught up whatever Disney Plus has.
Okay. So my understanding is then the human who made the door is in fact the evil wizard guy.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to be what they're implying based on the things I've seen.
I feel like that was the first thought that came in when they first found out about a human.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Went, it's going to be the evil guy.
Yeah. And he's a real piece of shit. He's a real...
he sucks.
He sucks, you guys.
When they're bullying him, they should have bullied him more.
Right? I really wish that they had just had a prolonged scene of them shit talking. It would have been so good.
Yeah. Because I don't want to spoil it. Oh, so wait, no, you got to that bit, right? Where they meet him?
Yeah, where they go back in time.
Yeah, okay.
That one I saw.
Because they're right. Those two brothers are totally right.
Oh, no, they're right.
They should bully him more.
And then I guess the implication is he murdered their third brother, right?
He says, yeah, he sent him to his death. That's murder. So
yeah. He's a real turd.
Mm-hmm.
Really good stuff. I forget the blonde-haired boy who's his nephew. What's his name?
Oh yeah, the one with the missing tooth. Hang on.
Yeah.
The gap.
Really fond of that character. I'm only sad that he clearly had a lot more stuff that was gonna come up.
Yeah. you can feel like though they wanted to explore this type of character and they can't.
Yeah.
So
well, the thing that kind of tripped me out was there's a storyline in which he goes to Hexside and joins basically the Quidditch team.
Yeah.
And shenanigans. But they've set up all this other stuff with that particular witch who does the golem possession magic.
Oh yeah, the
dude with purple wobbly hair.
Yeah, the dude who's someone was into that.
Yeah.
So whoever drew him.
Yeah,
was into it.
But I feel like that character in particular. Now, this is not a huge complaint, but if I have one, it's his character kind of does stuff that doesn't make sense based on the last 7 or 8 episodes.
Yeah,
and it's clearly for plot reasons. It's
for plot reasons. It's supposed to be I also think he'll probably have something to do later on, so he's somewhat redeemable, and he's not just part of the evil organization.
Mm-hmm.
And then the small Plague of Gripes character, the wild wizard, the wild witch.
Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't have any they don't have any dialogue. So
no. Yeah.
They could be whatever.
And then I also felt bad for the build up to Ida having this whole story with her dad that like this shouldn't have been one episode.
I thought that was a bummer.
Because you get the sense like, oh, this is a beautiful scene.
Yeah.
I just feel like we needed at least a few days to sit with, oh no, she's estranged from her father and she's deeply ashamed. Not, oh, okay, so here's everything you need to know in 5 minutes so that we can have this moment at the end of the episode. You know what I mean?
I know exactly.
So,
I felt that.
On the whole, all of my complaints still boil down to not enough time.
Yeah.
But I mean,
the kid with the white hair is just called Hunter.
Oh, Hunter.
Yeah.
Okay. But so like the scene in particular I was just going to quickly mention was when Hunter has his kind of about face and he's starting on his path to realizing, oh, the coven is not good for me. This and that. He then gets caught by the purple hair dude, and you think like, oh shit, what's the repercussions of this?
Yeah.
And he's just like, nah, I think you should just hang out with kids, probably.
Yeah.
And it felt like, I don't know. What do you think? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying because I had talked about this right with the show. Especially as more episodes are happening because they got to get to the thing.
Right.
Like the writing, they gotta move characters into what places they want them to be at the end faster.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of leaps, or at least like there's a feeling of gaps of stuff you're going, and the thing of like, well, we're hiding it because you don't know who these characters actually are like fully, so they can still kind of be what we want them to be.
Right.
As opposed to like where they start off and they're members of the evil head of a fascist state essentially. So
right.
Whatever their thing, everything's a little easygoing. You know what this reminds me of too? You remember when I said I watched Craig of the Creek?
Yeah.
And I went, wow, some of these parents and some of these older people are really nice and act really nice towards children in regards to learning music and or almost setting the porch on fire and not getting mad at their child or getting angry. And I went, I can't relate to that. I had a very different upbringing than what these shows want to suggest. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think when it comes to a children's show, you're trying to send like an idea of what you're trying to give like a perspective or a life lesson of this is how you probably should act in these situations. So it's a little bit more idyllic. Even though it's not like perfect and there's still flaws, it's a little bit more like this is probably how things should go, and if parents are watching, this will help out with that stuff too. So I think about that. I think about that too when it comes to like writing kids shows, because at the end of these days, yes, these shows are for children, and I know the whole thing of that doesn't excuse bad writing. I'm like, no, but it makes trends make more sense, and to know what their audience they're writing to, right?
That makes sense.
What their goals are. Having said that, I think there's some leaps in character. I was bummed out about the dad. I wish he got a little bit more with Ida. That was like the big bummer. I still have that big problem with them gaslighting King, and I feel like that went by really quickly.
Yeah.
And he excuses what he's 5, so it's cool. So you can move on faster.
Yep.
There's not too much damage except his whole identity, and he has a really good freak out, like a real like just heartbreaking one.
Yeah.
No, that show, I mean, it's a really good show. It's not perfect, but I think they're doing as best they can given the circumstances.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah. I really do think they're doing they're still doing a really bang up job for the really shitty situation they're in.
Yeah. Let me also say one last thought that I think is worth mentioning, because I deeply appreciate this kind of a joke, which is it is a 2-in-1 joke. They did an anime joke and they did a we're being canceled meta joke in one, which was something, I don't know, it was something to the effect of like Ida and Luce talking, and Ida is like, what if we just had a relaxing beach day with you and all your friends? You know what? We could have done that in 20 more things, but we just don't have time for that.
We could have had the fun things. We could have you could have grown to love these characters. What about what's her name? Her friend? She's like pumping iron. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
She's like out on her fucking balcony, fucking
just getting jacked.
And I was like, yeah. How about well, I know it's a cheap joke in the grand scheme of it, but I did like the joke of like, oh, what are you talking about? This movie isn't old. I saw it in theaters when it came out. I'm not old. It's good.
I do like that joke very much. Because that's by the way, if anybody here listening is younger than me, I'm not old. I saw that movie when it came out.
I saw the movie when it came out. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about, fellow children?
Yeah. So yeah, I've got some things that y'all might not have seen, and then some things that I know we all have seen and we can talk about. But,
yeah. I just want to make sure, Nick, do you have anything to say on Owl House?
Oh yeah, please.
It's good.
Well, you heard it here first, folks.
Dick, we're sorry about the hour-long thing.
That was funny.
It was a goof. It was a goof.
No, it's okay.
You saying I thought it was funny sounds menacing. It sounds like
it was funny.
It sounds like you're getting ready for a day of reckoning.
Yeah, like I'm breaking pencils and I'm like shooting.
That's funny.
No, it was really funny, guys.
Yeah. Jokes, right? Jokes. It's all jokes.
Comedy. That's such a you thing, Chris.
Yeah.
It's a good show. Like I know you guys brought up great points. I hope like they're able to at least salvage, given what the situation they have, like you said.
Yeah.
Again, I still think they're doing a good job for what situation they're in.
Well, and then it's
still better than most shows. Like,
oh yeah, Country Mile.
Yeah.
Such a good piece of television. I just like it's kind of going through the thing that me as a pathetic hipster loves, which is seeing something really good treated badly. Like getting to watch a show like exponentially lose its potential to do really the idea of giving like not only having Luce and her girlfriend be a part of Bad Girl Coven, but then having the brother and sister join is thrown out in the Brawl episode. And I was like, there's so many cool stories you could have told with that combination of characters. What a shame. What a shame we won't get that.
We won't get it. Yeah.
Oh well. Yeah. So to move to my next item on the list. This is not going to be a long one necessarily, but a strong recommendation for people who do like some true crime kind of stuff.
Okay.
I was on the HBO app, and the HBO has made a mini-series version of The Staircase.
Oh yeah, my sister and my mom are watching that.
Oh really? Oh, okay.
Did you watch the documentary when it came out? Because that's what I did.
Yeah, I did watch the documentary back in the day. About 6 years ago, 5 years ago.
Yeah. How it was a long time, or like, well, I guess not that long in the grand scheme of things, but it was a bit ago. It was enough that they made another show.
Yes. Yes.
And I just want to ask because I don't remember, or like maybe I'm misremembering, but my gut tells me like I came away from that documentary going, "Oh yeah, he did it."
He seems guilty as fuck. Yes.
Yeah.
He seems guilty as shit.
Yeah.
I have yet to really see where the miniseries is coming down on it. Here's something that I think is really worth talking about before we get into the show. Is like the documentarians are in the show.
That's weird.
And so the show, like an aspect of the narrative is Michael Peterson is being followed by people doing a podcast about the crime. And apparently, like, the people who did it fucking hate that. They're very angry, and they don't like that they're being put into the story as a part of it, which I think is very funny. Like the idea that no, you can't put us in the story. We're not a part of the story. We just made a show and interviewed everybody, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So fuck, that's very funny to me. That alone.
Because like immediately my thought process is like my heart goes out to the documentarians, right? Because like to be put into a show like that, but also at the same time, they probably were trying to portray how little influence they had on the whole thing while making the documentary. Yeah, because that's just what you do, and you're trying to portray a fly on the wall, even though that's bullshit. No matter what, like. Just by observing, you've changed the results, or like you've influenced the case.
And by making a show about it, you ultimately
when money gets involved.
You're like the fact that Michael Peterson is a name that people can know, and that what happened is like the details of the crime is something that people know. Like that's not the case for 98% of murder.
Yeah,
and like. That in of itself does affect like the justice system, or how he's approached by people in general.
How he's approached, how he's perceived.
Yeah, exactly. So like, because Michael said yes, like a lot of people at the time said, oh, well, he said yes to a documentarian. That proves he must be innocent. Yeah. He doesn't have anything to hide. He's letting these people dig through his documents, this and that. Unless,
and this is just me replicating the thought process. It's unlike a jury. Unless he hired documentarians to fool us.
Now you're thinking. Now we're cooking with gas.
Is anyone that fiendish, that devious?
And I will say though, like. Michael's not coming off as so great. Well, so let me talk about the cast. So Colin Firth plays Michael.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, it's cool.
So he's like one of the most likable, like, fellas you can imagine.
Yeah.
You have been groomed for 20 years to believe that Colin Firth is a nice guy who wouldn't do bad things to you.
Okay. Well, the Penguin, but yeah.
But like, he I don't know. He's great in it. His performance is incredibly strong.
Yeah.
If you watch the documentary, I'll say this about Colin Firth, and Toni Collette plays his wife. I don't know the name. Hold on, let me look at some of the actors who play the kids, because the point is the Peterson family is so well cast, and it's eerie, honestly, how well they all do like the verbal mannerisms of these people. So to me, it seems like the cast has all listened to recordings of the people they're playing.
They probably had a really good voice coach too.
I assume so, just because Michael and Catherine and Toni Collette and Colin and their children, just do these so good that at certain points when I was not looking at the screen, my brain forgot I was watching a reenactment of things, basically.
Oh, that's
and I was
cool.
like, oh shit, that really felt like I was listening to the real people.
That's cool. That doesn't happen.
It's not super common. No. I think one thing I do want to mention that the show kind of touches upon, and I think is really kind of a benefit of what more modern recent true crime is doing.
Yeah.
Is like Michael had a lot of things that made him look guilty, like the financial lying. He did a bunch of shady shit with the money and basically was lying to his wife and children about it.
Yes.
And I feel like all of that is the most incriminating stuff. That essentially he was not as rich as his wife, and after she died, they did come into a lot of money. When he was, looking for a lawyer, they essentially said, well, all your kids are not going to go to college. It's going to be very expensive for you to pay for this defense. Are you okay with that? And he basically was like, my kids aren't going to college without me out. So, yeah, we're spending the money.
Mm-hmm.
I do definitely want to say, like, at the top of episode 1 and through episode 2, we get into, how the wife's sisters felt estranged, felt like Michael is capable of something like this just because they weren't as close.
Yeah.
And then you get into something that I think I've seen in a handful of true crime stories, which don't get talked about nearly enough, which is Michael is probably not entirely straight. He's probably bisexual or pansexual in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And when the police found that out, essentially the narrative is, oh, he wanted to sleep with men, and so he murdered his wife to sleep with men.
Yeah. I think that comes up in the documentary.
It does. It does.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't know, like, I that as a defense, I think, is kind of troubling to me, just because there's, like, a lot of stories where the real argument is, and they do it really well in the show, which is essentially they just open this folder of porn that they've printed off of his computer, with really graphic gay porn, and they're like, we found this on Michael's computer, and they show it to the victim's sisters.
Yeah. And
they're so viscerally repulsed by it. They're like, I fucking knew he was a killer. That's all it takes. They're immediately on the side of, yeah, we need to put him away, we need to give him the chair.
Fucking Christ. Okay.
So, like, it's not a rational argument, really. It's the gross thing.
Yeah.
We need to punish the gross thing.
But, like, the thing is, too, I believe that. I've met people like that. Yeah. Any deviancy, anything, any angle besides 90-degree missionary is beyond, is deviancy.
I tried a blindfold on my wife once. You fucking ghoul! I'll take your children.
Going to hell.
Yep.
Going to hell.
Yep.
Down out.
Yep.
Well, time to take your children away. You're putting them in God's army. That's what you're.
You guys, it's funny because it's very sad and true.
It's fun, yeah, man. Happens so fucking often. It's wild.
It is. Yeah, I think it's great. I think, like, they've got Stanley Tucci in there. The goddamn Tucci, you guys. It's cool. It's a good time. It's a good time.
Damn. Okay, maybe I will watch it again, because I haven't watched it since I watched the documentary. I don't know if, like, that case ever went further, right?
I think he was acquitted at the end. I think he did get acquitted.
Yeah, I think I want to say you're right.
I don't know. I can look it up later, but
yeah.
I'm 4 episodes out of 6, and there's going to be 2 more released later the year.
Oh, okay. Later in the year. That's weird.
Later in the hold on. Well, I mean, later in the year in the sense that they're coming out in the middle of June. So
it's okay.
The second
That's later in the year makes. I thought you meant like late in the year.
No.
No, you mean it in the literal sense that, if it comes out tomorrow.
That would be later in the year, exactly. That technically is true.
I didn't lie.
There was no deceit detected, officer.
Yeah, misleading maybe, but that's
Certainly.
your fault.
You should have asked me when, sir. Yeah, I think it's a really good show.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
And I haven't listened to it, but HBO is also producing a podcast that goes over more details based on each episode. So if you really want to drive yourself crazy, do that.
Something just clicked in my head. Because you told me how expensive. Because you reminded me how expensive that whole thing with the expensive defense.
Yeah.
And that the kids won't be going to college.
Mm-hmm.
Is the guy getting money from all this?
Oh, is Michael getting money from all
Yeah.
this? I don't think he is. I don't think I don't know. I know because if he was acquitted, I don't know if he would be able to get the money. Like that's
no. I think if he was acquitted, he could.
Right, because if he was found guilty, he would have no legal claim to any of it.
Yeah.
But shit, yeah, you're right. If he was acquitted, he potentially could be making some residuals off of his life rights. Potentially.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I'd have to. You know what? I will come back and report a month from now.
I just flipped this thing on its head, man.
Oh, bust this goddamn story wide open. It goes all the way to the top. Yeah. So tonally different. Yeah. I just want to talk for a little bit about another show that I've caught up with. Season 3 of Atlanta.
Oh, I gotta watch it. Is season 3 over?
Season 3 is over. You can watch the whole thing on Hulu right now.
Okay, I'll do it. Yeah, I gotta do
it. Let me say, it's worth it. It's worth.
Oh yeah, okay. It doesn't fall off.
No, every single fucking episode fucking bangs, you guys. Yeah. It's really good.
Yeah,
it's really, really good.
Here was my worry: does it fall off on the comedy?
Let me say this. The parts that are funny are troublingly funny. They're like really funny.
Yeah.
The show in season 3, I would say, is more of like a psychological horror story than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's some really good stuff. I don't know. How much should I kind of talk about?
You know what? Don't, because I really want to watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it either way.
I'll tell you this: the last scene of the season is one of the funniest jokes that Don Glover's ever written, and he should be very proud of that joke. It's it's so good.
Okay.
Okay. Well, yeah. Go try Atlanta, and we can talk about it later. But
yeah.
Other than that. I was going to talk about Marvel stuff.
Let's do it. Let's talk about it.
All right, let's talk about it.
What
was the last? Well, I recently just watched Multiverse of Madness.
Okay, I haven't watched that yet.
Okay.
I'm slowly catching up because I did just watch Spider-Man No Way From Home, and that took me it took me a bit to get to that.
Okay. Well, let's talk about Spider-Man then. Could I just give you some technical thoughts about the movie, and then we'll do Spider-Man?
Yeah, into the
Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
Mom.
Oh, is that true? Multiverse of Doctor Strange. Mom.
Yep.
Good.
Let me just say this.
Spoilers. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, not for you don't have to. I'm gonna put it for Spider-Man. You could do
I will say this: the dweebs who were like, "Ooh, it's his mom," they were right. Damn it. So I've heard a lot of people. I want to address something specific, which is so this is Sam Raimi's first movie in the MCU.
Yes. Although, didn't he do a couple scenes in No Way Home, or am I crazy?
He
I'm
might have
making
done
that up.
that. Could be the case.
At the very least, there's scenes in there that is replicating a Sam
Oh,
Raimi
definitely.
movie. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Well,
And I'll talk about that
Sam,
later. But yeah, go ahead.
well, so you remember a while ago, before he got fired and rehired again,
Yeah.
like James Gunn was basically offered a junior position under Kevin Feige, wherein James
totally
Gunn
forgot
would
about
have he would have been, and I don't honestly, because of the hire and refire, I don't know
Yeah.
where that stands currently.
Yeah.
But back in the day, the thing that they were talking about was Kevin Feige said, I want basically all the groupings in the universe to have a head. So I want James Gunn to be in charge of outer space shit.
I
James
remember
Gunn
that.
James
Yeah.
Gunn is going to be in charge of the Guardians and Thor and anything that's in outer space.
Yeah.
The conversation that I'm hearing is that they're interested in doing that with Sam Raimi and the magic parts.
Okay.
So the magic shit would potentially be overseen, not directed, but overseen by Sam Raimi.
Okay.
And I wanted to also address that, like, a lot of people really hate the direction in the movie.
Oh, okay.
And
See, I've heard two things, right?
Oh, go ahead.
You either love the direction, or you hate it.
Right.
And those who love it because they love Sam Raimi style.
Yes.
And here's the thing: I like Sam Raimi's style of directing.
I would say that, well, and also like a thing that people are saying in the negative is, this feels like a 90s movie that somebody slapped into the present. And
cool.
I say it as a positive. This is a fucking dope thing. It's a 90s movie now.
Sounds fine. Yeah.
I really like, so I'll break down some stuff, and it's without spoiling any of the story.
Got it.
But you have lots of scenes where things explode, or things get chopped in half, or things of that nature happen. And Sam Raimi is a fan of the multiple action shot. That is,
sure is.
Here's the thing blowing up on a front angle, on a back angle, on a side angle. Just repeating the same action, so you see it from a bunch of perspectives. And that's not done lots in the Marvel movies as so far. And then also Sam Raimi does a thing where he also, like, straight up lifts from Evil Dead, and you get prolonged shots from the perspective of the villain stalking their victims in the movie.
Cool. I love that, then.
Which, like, I guess that's all the shit that people don't like. I think it's rad. I like it. So, fuck y'all.
I don't know. That second bit sounds awesome. Like,
sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I don't know what else I can really say other than I will confirm it is a horror movie.
Good.
It is a horror movie.
That's what I want.
You have a fair amount of build-up till you get to the kind of climax of how horrific it is.
Yeah.
But when you get into the villain of the story doing the thing that the villain of the story does, Jesus Christ, that is it's nightmarish and amazing, and I mean, I will say this: it's PG-13, I think. Is that right?
Okay. Yeah, I believe so.
They really push up to the limit what you can get away with. To which I mean viscera, blood, disembowelment, the demonic, burning alive, torture. It's some good stuff, you guys. I love it. Yeah. I really like it. Yeah. I'm really, and that's why I think it's a good segue to talk about No Way Home, just because you have to see I would say for Doctor Strange's story to make sense or be as fulfilling as you would want it to be, it's probably a good idea to have watched No Way Home first.
Yeah.
Because this movie kind of just takes off from the stuff that they seeded in that movie.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about No Way Home a little bit, yeah?
Yeah. Nick, you want to go first because you're the bigger Spider-Man fan?
I will. It is a good movie. I actually liked it a lot more than the previous one overall.
I liked it more than the second one as well.
It was definitely going a direction I wasn't really expecting, but it was it was oddly emotional. Thought they would be, and it was obviously when all three of them showed up, and I don't know, guess my age is sinking at that
Nick's
moment.
Like Spider-Man,
Spider-Man, the man's that spiders at night.
Did y'all catch in the credits when they did the fucking meme together? They took a picture of them doing the meme. That was
I saw that.
A-class. Excellent.
Should have been in the movie, but yeah, it was good.
Should have been at the end when he has his.
We almost murders William Dafoe. No.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, what else about the movie, man?
Like having Willem Dafoe and having Doc Ock. I knew Doc Ock was gonna be in it, but Green Goblin.
Yeah, that one I knew. Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool seeing him again for sure. Peter Parker still being framed and everything I'm still surprised how easy everyone took it, given everything that's happened, but that's just my thing.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know, because they have cops out there 24/7, and people are just saying stuff into the window. I think because they're trying to capture like the complicated feeling New York has towards Spider-Man, because he's one of their own and he has helped a lot of people. But that did really the way he was framed, they made it really did look like he murdered.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like it's one of those things where the jury's out, kind of deal, and they're gonna be taking it, even though it really did look like he murdered the shit. Mysterio, but yeah. So I kind of get what you're saying. I can get. Yeah, maybe it's a little bit. Maybe they are giving him a little bit too much leeway.
So to Nick, I want to ask, what did you think about the Sony villains that were in the movie?
The Sony, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like Jamie Foxx, because Jamie Foxx is Jamie Foxx, right?
Yeah.
And he was actually a cool part of it. I do think he was unutilized in Spider-Man.
And the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, the Garfield movies.
Yeah,
right.
Like that was like probably my biggest gripe with the villains in those Garfield movies was like I think Jamie Foxx had the most potential, but it was very clear that they were running out of time and they needed like to have the next big baddie.
Yeah.
So I think like seeing him more fleshed out in this one was cool.
Yeah.
In a weird meta sense.
Well, this is a fucking meta-ass movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No? Like, top to bottom. Yeah. It's very self-referential, self-acknowledging kind of fucking movie. You know?
Yeah. It's a comic book. It's a very more so comic book movie than a lot of live action ones too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really I dug it. I mean, they definitely did their parts. Same with Lizard. The whole thing with Dr. Connor, like I still don't like his design, even though he's like a cool, weird, like lizard, muscular man. But overall, like he's still kind of boring, sadly.
That's why they don't give him a lot of dialogue, I don't think.
Yeah. You could tell like they're definitely trying to like bring the best out of all of them.
Right.
And obviously, because of that, the highlight is Willem Dafoe because he is the best villain live action.
Yeah.
And Willem Dafoe is essentially just playing pure id, just pure aggression unleashed upon a child. Again, this movie gave me that moment again. The moment from the first Spider-Man that we both geek out about, where Michael Keaton essentially just pulls a gun on a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, Jesus Christ, this is fucking horrifying.
Yeah.
And then you have the scene wherein Willem Dafoe murders Aunt May, and I felt that again. I felt, oh, you just tortured a child, is what we've just watched you do.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's greatest power is that he's a kid. Type deal. Yeah, for a movie wise. Yeah. Because it adds to that, right? Like, it creates those moments where you get to remember, oh, he's I mean, Tom Holland's not a child, but I mean, like, in the movie. Like, still a child. It's still a dude who hasn't... Yeah. Anything else you guys want to say? Because I do have a lot of thoughts about the movie.
Well, gosh. I thought the Doctor Strange stuff was really cool, if we can mention that, because he's not a huge part of it. But
no, he's just the problem starter and the problem solver. But
exactly. I honestly think that can I say about the chemistry between the MJ and Ned? I know that people really want to talk about Zendaya as a great actress, and I agree.
Yeah.
But honestly, like, let's give some respect to the actor who plays Ned, because he and Tom Holland have genuinely fucking fantastic chemistry together as well.
Oh yeah, and that's like a thing in all these new ones, all these new movies. No, he's a perfect cast, like, straight up.
And now I want to ask,
no,
is he going to become a Spider-Man villain?
I hope so. I really do.
I kind of hope so too.
Yeah.
Because, fuck it. Take everything away from Peter Parker.
I'm kind of with you on that, and that'll be leading into my thoughts on the movie. And by the way, what's up, Justin Platt? Yes, we are talking about Spider-Man No Way Home.
Hey, how's it going?
And then, I try not to acknowledge chat too much during podcasts because there's going to be an audio thing, but I make sure to say hi. Spider-Man No Way Home. I really enjoyed it. I'm with Nick. I liked it more than the second one. I don't know if I liked it more than the first. The Tobey Maguire stuff hit me more than I thought it would. I'll be real.
That was actually really sad.
As much as we make fun of those movies, those were the ones we grew up on, and stuff was hitting me. I was like, oh, yeah, he's old.
The scene on top of the Statue of Liberty has many great dialogue moments, but the line between Tobey Maguire and Doc Ock, it's crushing. It is, because like they pull dialogue from the classic Sam Raimi's.
Yeah.
Oh my boy, it's so good to see you again.
Yeah.
And there is something that's like really beautiful and tragic about, like, no, yeah, your protege murdered you, and then the next time you see him, he's like at the end of his 40s.
Yeah.
And he was like a little boy when you knew him. Like, yeah.
I remember when they go back, they're going to be murdered.
Yeah.
And there's like a great bittersweet thing of these movies in that I don't think is explored too much. Or because there's no chance, because it's the ending of the movie. Is the idea that, no, you could have helped them. You really could have.
Yeah.
And that's the worst part, isn't it? Is getting confirmation that, it didn't have to end that way. Yeah, in, like, maybe in your head, you knew it didn't have to be that way, but you didn't know that there was a really good option.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, Aunt May's, like, input to that comes in, right?
Fuck.
But I mean, they won't get to know that knowledge because it's all over.
Yeah.
So but that's like the thing, right? Like, going back to those movies, the real retcon is they could have helped those people. If they had the right tools and the right people around.
Yeah.
And it's a good lesson But at the same time, it's heartbreaking for those characters if they're allowed, if they could like maintain those memories, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is probably why I like the movie so much, because I think that's a really interesting idea. Well, anytime you introduce time shenanigans, right, stuff like that can happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, man, like, no, the actors are all on point. William Dafoe's like, just every time he talks, he's stealing the show.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, it's one of those things of, okay, I know William Dafoe's good, so I'm expecting good scenes. And then he just proves it again of, yeah, nails it. He not only nails it, he's some of the best scenes are him. Like,
even when he's not doing like drooling maniac, he's
so
compelling.
Yes.
So compelling to watch. Yeah.
So compelling. Even when he's doing like, I don't know, like he's talking about the voice in his head.
Yeah.
On the end of his ropes.
Yeah.
Which that's an interesting. I thought that was an interesting scene too, because in 2002, while we did know some stuff, that wasn't a thing really talked about. Was giving that empathy. It was always seen as evil, and that's something that can only happen later on.
Yeah, in the classic, in the first one, you get some of that like talking to yourself in the mirror, but ultimately, you really only see Willem Dafoe as irredeemable. No, he's completely off the deep end. There's no hope for him at all.
He's talking to himself. He's evil.
Yeah.
Don't you get? Go ahead.
And then to have that whole scene of him and Aunt May like sit down and be like, well, fucking too bad. This is your job to help people.
Yeah, no, we're gonna do the work. Yeah. I'm glad they brought Sandman into it, because I think he was the best part of Spider-Man 3. My opinion.
Well, also, he was not like an evil villain.
He's the least villain of the villains. Like,
right. Yeah.
It's just straight up like wrong place, wrong time ruins your life, like type deal.
How many people get their lives ruined by falling into science experiments?
Just falling into places. Okay, so other thing, I've never seen the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man.
Same.
Because I thought about it and then people were like, eh. And then Nick was like, it's you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, okay. I didn't know Rhino shows up at some point.
Paul Giamatti's Rhino.
Paul Giamatti plays Rhino?
Yep.
That's fucking wild. What is that like? Is that good?
He's like a Russian gangster in a mech suit.
Oh, it's a mech suit?
Yeah.
Oh, that kind of bums me out. Okay. That's still a wild casting. For that.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted him to be in the big dumb rhino suit.
Yeah.
I just wanted him to be the big mutant dude who's essentially the Juggernaut but not Juggernaut.
Yeah.
Although, hey, for comic book nerds out there, Juggernaut's not a mutant. He's just a big guy in armor. So
yeah,
he's just a freak. So anyway, one of my favorite parts of the movie is the whole fight with William Dafoe in the hallway.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
And the way that's shot is some of the most interesting shots I've seen in a Marvel movie.
Yeah, the choreography is incredible.
Yeah. Any Marvel movie, I think, is some of the most interesting shots is him fighting against William Dafoe in the hallway.
Yeah.
The swinging lamps, seeing his face, the way it's shot like a horror movie, made me think they got Sam Raimi to shoot some of those things.
Okay.
But they could have just been emulating his style.
Yeah, they definitely were pulling from. So I like you had not seen The Amazing Spider-Man, but I have it on good authority that there's references to all of the past Spider-Man films that they've chock-a-blocked in those movies.
Yeah. And they do with Tobey Maguire. You find out they're still on rough.
Right?
rough ground. And I'm like, dude, you're 40 now. Are you sure? Like,
it's some Peter B. Parker shit. He's, he's still working on it.
Still working on it. Yeah, and boy, those cops light Spider-Man up. They sure fucking do. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Because I was so used to like military propaganda in these Marvel movies and making the cops seem good.
Yeah.
They fucking shoot that child.
They sure do. That grieving child.
Child over a dead body.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, well, they obviously thought he murdered him. They shot that child, is what I'm gonna say.
Sure did. Sure did.
Oh, fucking. What a world. Anyway, but yeah, that shit's.
Another performance that I do think is really worth mentioning.
Yeah.
Is Andrew Garfield. Well, first of all, I think actually Andrew Garfield is great in this movie, guys.
Yeah.
I really liked his performance.
I was actually surprised. I really liked him as his version of Spider-Man. Yeah.
And it made me think, like, so what the fuck was up with those other movies? Like, this character.
So is he not like that in the other movies?
I don't know. Is he? I don't know.
Because he's super likable in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was definitely weird because I thought he was. I mean, he was definitely more snarky in Amazing Spider-Man versus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that was only the thing that I thought was at least unique with Amazing Spider-Man. Like he's definitely more snarky, a bit more aggressive.
Oh, okay.
With his like tone versus like the small quibs and like the passive stuff that Tobey Maguire was doing. But yeah, I think it definitely worked in his favor. Especially at the end of his character in Amazing Spider-Man 2, that they brought that back was really cool. And like seeing just how much the loss of Gwen Stacy and his father-in-law put on him. Yeah.
So that's where I feel like it must be, right? Like the experience has softened him.
Yeah.
Right? He's not just a high schooler anymore. Or was he in college?
No, he's in college. Yeah.
He's a college student.
College?
But,
okay.
Like the interaction that Andrew Garfield and Zendaya have when they again push a woman off of a tall thing in the Spider-Man movie. And he basically like has a breakdown. He has like this he's like hyperventilating and crying. And you can tell that this is a kind of redemption for himself. Like, I stopped the bad thing from happening to you.
Yeah.
That I couldn't in my world.
That he couldn't do the first time, yeah.
Fuck, man.
Or you could be real cynical about it and interpret it as he could have.
I guess, Chris. I guess.
Never mind.
No, it was actually a really... Because even I knew about that for the Gwen Stacy bit.
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man, and I thought, wow, that's a really heartwarming scene in the middle of the fight. Like, that's really nice. And then Peter Parker and Tom Holland gets to fucking swing the fucking... Dude, that fight on this shield is awesome because I love that it's just like fucking punching.
Yeah.
And they both take hits, and Peter Parker is obviously a little bit more trained because you see him doing kidney punches and like body blows.
Yeah.
To this old man.
Who's cackling maniacally the whole time.
I like that fight. I really did. Like,
no, it's pretty sick.
Yeah. They made Electro look way cooler than he usually does.
Yeah.
And they addressed it kind of clumsily, but whatever.
Yeah. Like his shots are really cool when you see electricity stuff and going. Yeah, no, it's good. Well, let's talk about the ending real quick then for what it means. The forgetting of Peter Parker, because the whole thing was going to be you can't have everything you want. Which the greatest tragedy of any superhero is that you can't save everyone. Yeah. So it's really, no matter what power you have, you can't have everything you would actually want. And sacrificing it all to ensure other people have a great future. Although you ready for this?
Please.
The way that wish is said actually, I think, implies that every universe forgets who Peter Parker is.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, a little bit selfish there, huh? Universe is a lot bigger than your own.
Peter, why are you always fucking it up for everybody else?
I'm just saying. So I don't know if they're gonna actually go through with that, or if that's that's gonna be a thing.
Okay, so this is purely gossip.
Yeah.
And I guess this is now a gossip podcast, but
hell yeah, the way it was meant to be.
But apparently, this is what I've been told, because we already talked that Sony wants to do a Sinister Six movie.
Yes.
Sony is apparently trying to court Sam Raimi. They want Sam Raimi to do another. Spider-Man
that's gonna be That's good. I would love to see the dollar amount,
right?
Because Sam Raimi famously has said, like, during, not only after 3, but like during the development of Spider-Man 3, how much he fucking hated working on that and working with Sony, and how he would never do it again. And to this day, I don't think he's actually worked on a Sony project.
I believe you're correct.
Like, he's kept true to his fucking, because they treated him badly. Like, all fairness is, Sam Raimi, like, deserved to be angry.
Well, yeah, they put a bunch of restrictions on him, and they were like, you need to do 3 bad guys.
Restrictions, you have to do 3 bad guys, you have to do this movie fast, you have to do this movie,
No.
And God bless him, he got that movie out.
And also, much forgotten, because there's a lot to parse through Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
From back then. They also set up Gwen Stacy as we may get rid of Kirsten Dunst so that Peter Parker has another girlfriend.
Yeah. Because she didn't want to do the movie anymore.
No.
So I would love to see that meeting.
The
dollar number, if that happens. Like,
that's always kind of been like
hey, Justin.
How's it going?
Oh, sorry, I'll say this real quick. Justin Platt, it's not that I'm ignoring you or anything. I see all the stuff. It's just that when we do the podcast stuff, I tend to read the Discord chat out loud a little bit less, because this is also going to appear in audio form, and that's just that becomes infuriating for people who listen to only the audio.
If they pick this up like a month from now, 2 months from now, it's like, what the fuck is what's going on?
It won't make it comes off a little thing. I'm not trying to ignore you. I see the comments, and I very much appreciate it, but that's the whole line of reasoning.
Yeah.
Nick, what were you saying?
I was saying, like, I'm just hoping that for how well Sam Raimi's directing was for the last Marvel movie, that he would at least have some say in, like, well, my dream is, like, he would have some say in the next Venom project.
Oh, okay.
I think that's probably with them, and the potential with them and Carnage teaming up to find Spider-Man, I think would be really interesting, like, through Sam Raimi's lens.
Yeah.
But yeah, at least that would be the optimistic view on it. But I wouldn't blame you.
Let me throw out my pipe dream, not gonna happen scenario.
Okay.
It's so in like, I believe in Morbius and definitely in the Venom movies, Spider-Man exists. Like, he exists in this universe.
Yeah.
There's like graffiti and signs that indicate there is a Spider-Man out there.
You know that Morbius scene where he walks by a Spider-Man poster? That's only in the trailer.
Is it?
Yeah. That shows up nowhere in the movie.
What part of the trailer is in the goddamn movie? They cut all...
I actually don't know, because I never saw the trailer. But yeah, that's not... I know that poster scene. That shit ain't in the movie.
Huh. All right. Well, goddamn. So here's my never gonna happen pitch.
Yeah.
Sony gets Sam Raimi. They get him, and they end up doing like either a sequel to Sinister Six.
Yeah.
Because they're definitely gonna fucking churn that shit out,
They're gonna make it happen whether it makes sense or not.
Yeah. So they're gonna do it. They're gonna have it. And then guess what? Twist! It's the finale of the Garfield trilogy. They make Sam Raimi direct the end of another trilogy, and now there's a clapper on that.
A Tale of Three Cities, Three Kitties.
Oh man, that would be very funny to me to promote a Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie is coming out, and they don't tell you which one. Like, everyone obviously is like, oh, dope, they got Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
And then it's not Tobey Maguire in the movie.
Yeah.
Would be very funny.
I got a pitch because we're doing multiverse shit.
Okay.
They give enough money to buy a country to Sam Raimi to make another movie. And all the Sinister Six comes out, but they don't have enough people because they don't exist in that universe. So who do they summon? You see the Doctor Strange portal open, and it's the girl from Drag Me to Hell shows up and falls down and starts leading the pack. And her power is that you have to eat things that are gross, and they look gross, and they have eyeballs, and that's her Marvel power. She'll be great.
Okay.
That's my movie. That's my pitch. Hire me.
I'm waiting for a call, producers.
Waiting for a call. I have my phone right here. It's a Bakelite phone, and it's hooked up hard line. Ready? Okay, it just says Hollywood on the phone.
It's a red phone with one button. It only takes calls from Hollywood.
From Hollywood.
All right, Chris, Nick, is there anything else you guys want to kind of cover as far as No Way Home in this movie? I've got one last kind of nugget.
I feel like I've said everything I would want to say.
So I will say, both Tom Holland and Zendaya have signed contracts for exclusive another trilogy of Spider-Man movies.
3?
So they're on paper, on ink, they are locked in for 4, 5, and 6.
Man, I hope we get Tom Holland I hope we get post-college Spider-Man.
Well, I mean, we've got Tom Holland kind of set up at where Tobey Maguire was in number 2.
And actually, that's the thing I do want to say. Last thing. One of my biggest complaints about the new Spider-Man trilogy, and I think we've talked about this before, is that Spider-Man lives in a very unrelatable situation for a lot of the movie. Which usually it's not the biggest deal in the world, but it is for Spider-Man. Because Spider-Man was supposed to be the people's hero and was always supposed to reflect the average New Yorker. He went to galas. He had a very wealthy donor supply everything, all his powers, always supportive. He fought with the best. Whereas Tobey Maguire, their scenes were like Aunt May's giving her last fucking doubloon or something to the bank in order to get foreclosed. In order not to get foreclosed on, right? There's real struggles going on that are very relatable. So now we saw that in this movie, and I think we're seeing more. Right? We're seeing where Aunt May works, and we saw where he's now in a shitty New York apartment and he's listening to those radios.
Yep.
Just trying to make his way now. And he's very alone.
Yeah. He has nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody. I definitely think that the next 3 are going to lean even harder into that idea.
Yeah.
And I think what is interesting, and I agree with everything you said, but I do think it's interesting, the idea of, like, Spider-Man kind of got built up. He was the kind of adopted son of what is the MCU's, like, daddy figure, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, they say it several times throughout the MCU, which is Tony Stark was a real piece of shit, but everyone seems to like him for some reason.
Yeah.
Uh,
Warmonger
brings in the money.
was his first job, was his first gig. MCU. And it took him literal 10 or so movies to redeem that.
Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, I do think that ultimately that they're going to have him even fall further. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, give him pretty thing, nice thing, some money, so that we can then take it away, and his mom, and his grandma, and his house, and all his friends.
Everyone. And possibly, if I'm correct, all other Spider-Mans.
Yeah.
Thing. So we'll see. Oh, I guess other last thing before we head off from this movie. Very much reflective of Into the Spider-Verse.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where I'm a little like, okay. Alright. I see that. I see that. The best Marvel movie.
Well, you know that. Okay, and this Spider-Man talk has gone on for a minute, so I'll keep it short. But, you know that like Into the Spider-Verse's sequel has now been made a trilogy.
Yes, that I do know. Yeah.
I think that most people are of the opinion that Tom Holland is going to show up.
Oh yeah, he will at some point.
Which would make, you know, all of that canon, I guess, technically.
Uh-huh.
So my question is, how long do I have to wait for live action Miles Morales to fight Don Glover? God damn it!
I don't know. I don't know. Your great grandkids will get to tell you. But yeah. Anything else on Spider-Man? Because we have been talking for a hot minute.
No, I'm all good.
All right, let's get out of there. Anything else you've seen, Ian? Because that's your thing.
I feel like I've kind of gone on here, but
Okay.
yeah, I'd say that's good for me. That's the bigger part of my month. What about you, Chris?
Let's see. I did read a book, only one. I'm sorry, Nick, and it was "Carrier Wave" by Robert Brockway. Listen, that joke would have killed if this was it. I just want to make sure to address that.
It was good.
That the dead silence you hear.
No, we all thought it was very funny.
Oh, good. Just good. That's very good. No, I finished Carrier Wave by Robert Brockway, which is his big ass horror book. Although it reads really quickly,
okay.
To the point where I would read like hundreds of pages a day. Something. It's very good. I read it for research purposes, which I won't go into, but it was very similar to something I was writing. To the point where I started writing that thing before I read it. And now I'm like scared.
Okay.
But I can say it goes into very different directions than I would have.
Okay.
It's very good. He's sorry, like Jason, like David Wong and Jason Pargan. He's very good on focusing just on the characters and these big supernatural stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's it's a compilation book, so it's as this apocalypse is going on, you're getting different perspectives as you're moving forward, or different stories.
Okay.
And they're all great. They're all really good. And boy, the evil in that world is so fucking just like hopeless and nihilistic. Like there's nothing you can do type deal.
Mm-hmm.
And it does reflect that in the ending. But I think it's a good mess. I won't go, I guess, slight spoilers, but it feels like luck to survival. And I think that's the core of it, is that at its key, human survival is entirely based on luck.
Yeah.
And just events happening in certain orders.
Mhm.
I won't say more. It's very good. It's really easy read, really cool horror, like awesome stuff. Oh, and I will say the premise. The premise is that there's a sound from outer space that they hear, and upon hearing it, it changes people's brains and makes them either killers or, well, certain types of killers.
Okay.
The different types. It's really great. It's a good book. Good book. Go check it out. Really good stuff. Oh, and for those who don't know, Robert Brockway also used to write a lot for Crack during what was called its Crack's golden age. Let's see what else. Saw Spider-Man. Saw Morbius. It's been a very busy month. The big thing was, like, a friend of mine got married. We were all there at his wedding.
Yeah.
A
beautiful union of souls.
Yes. So that's their stuff. I'm not going to talk about it too much. We were there at the wedding. It was a great wedding. And two, I had I was part of a Kickstarter that was funded, and I did a 12-hour stream for the last 12 hours of that Kickstarter.
Good lord.
Which you can check out on the VODs. But yes, I've said it before in a bunch of posts. I said it on the channel. I've said it on the stream, but to those who've only listened to the podcast, I want to say thank you to anyone who donated. I very much appreciate it. I've said before, getting paid to write is a very new thing to me. As you can tell, we don't get ads on this. We don't qualify for ads. So, as much as I've been trying. Yeah, yet. As much as I've been, trust me, I've been fucking trying. So I do a lot of this stuff like for free because I really like doing it. Yeah. And to get paid is it's a nice feeling.
It's an honor. It's a great honor to get to do.
It's cool, and it's not just beyond like getting paid to do something you love. It's the idea that people put in money because they like something you worked on enough to believe in the project to work. So having said that, please go check out Underling Uprising. I'm the narrative designer for that. Is a 2D beat 'em up inspired by Saturday morning cartoons. And yeah, go check it out. That was honestly the biggest thing to happen.
If you have not yet watched the trailer for it, please, you will get hyped. It is a beautiful cut trailer that you put out. I really liked it.
Lenny, who worked on the arts, like, fantastic. Mark, who does the coding. I can't believe how fast he gets shit done. To the point where it seems like second nature to him. Right. And that's wild. Genuine Music, who did the track for that trailer, that song kicks ass, and it really works. And I hope you laugh when you play the
you will laugh and laugh and laugh.
We have a thing, a little inside baseball here. We have a thing on like our Trello which is how we like list tasks that we got to do. Yeah. The number one thing that's always on my thing is write jokes.
Of course,
because it's like the hardest thing to do, and I think it's hilarious that like just write a joke. If you don't know what you got to do right now, just write a funny.
It slightly reminds me of like Eddie Izzard used to have a bit which I always loved, which was if a joke either didn't get a laugh or got kind of a tepid response, he'd take out a notepad and just write down, "Remember to make joke funnier."
It's like the least helpful thing you can do to yourself, right? Like, that was a really cool thing. The only other, God, I've been so busy. I feel like I haven't done much to talk about. I've watched season 3 of Final Space, which was the only one I hadn't watched. Nick hadn't watched Final Space. Do you know this show, Ian?
I've watched some of Final Space. I'm not caught up, but you feel free to spoil me. Spoil the shit out of it if you want.
So Final Space was this adult animation cartoon for like TBS, and it was brought to life by Conan O'Brien and his company.
Oh, I did not know that. Oh.
Yeah, he's also a voice in season 2 and 3 of one of the characters. Okay. Although he does make other appearances in that show, but yeah. And what starts off as kind of just like a humorous thing, obviously has the story through line throughout the show, and the jokes are actually really funny. They're very goofy, and they kind of lean into their thing a bit. Like they, like sometimes the jokes they don't let go, but they kind of goes interesting places.
Okay.
If that makes more sense, I guess, if you like, if I could be like, yeah, like this joke, blah, 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 blah. And then, but that's not fun. But the show's really good. Like the animation, at first it kind of looks like a generic adult animation thing, and then you get into some of the space designs and the creature designs, which are fucking sick.
Yeah.
And the aliens look fucking cool. Like the Titans all look rad. Some of the animation sequences for action are amazing. It's legit great. It's a legit good show. Well, I don't know about great. I think that season 3 gets a little flounders a little. But it's a good show that was canceled after moving to Adult Swim. And
really?
It's one hell of a cliffhanger.
Wow.
So I just want to make sure Nick suffers that.
What's the closer that they end the show on, essentially? What are they...
Do you want me to spoil this?
Yeah, fucking do it. Yeah.
All right. So the ending to season 3, Final Space. So right now, I'm going to tell it in 3, 2, 1. An interdimensional being that was locked away for like who knows how long, that is like the destroyer of universes, is unleashed and breaks into our universe, as opposed to the jail universe, which was Final Space. Or sorry, Final Space is like the universe of the gods.
Okay.
Titans is what they call them. Right, and then it's breaking into this to finally feed on Earth.
Huh.
You know, that's one hell of a cliffhanger. Oh, and it's after the betrayal of one of the teammates.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
Good shit. Yeah. But there's some legit, really good episodes. Good characters. All of them are lovable. And yeah, the one thing that show does have, and I'm gonna compare it to Disenchantment, but I think it does this way better than Disenchantment. Is that problems get solved relatively quickly.
Okay.
Which isn't a bad thing as Final Space shows, because they always seem like they know they're going to go into something else. Although, again, in season 3, I think a lot of convenient things happen, and to the point where they have a saying on that show called, like, salvation shows up in a blink of an eye.
Oh, okay.
Where things happen relatively conveniently. is the thing.
Let me ask, in the show, what do you think of... Because I've only had limited exposure to Final Spaces. When comparing it to other comedy science fiction shows...
Yeah.
So many out there. Is it really... Does it really go into world building and premise, or is it kind of a background to, we're going to do jokes?
Oh, that's a good question. I think the jokes are what's taking you on this ride through the world and the premise. The show is essentially like a love story.
Okay.
And at its core, and it's about two people who can't be in love. Or no, sorry. They can be, but everything in the universe tells them, like, is trying to rip them apart.
Yeah.
To the point where you find out, like, multiple universes, one of them's always died.
Oh, okay.
In a grand scheme of sacrifice that actually doesn't help or mean anything. And the one time there's not a sacrifice, that's the universe we're watching.
Mhm.
And so things seem to actually get a lot worse in this universe than others.
Okay.
Which is a very interesting idea on its head, and would have been cool to see what the ending would be.
Yeah, that would have been.
So they say, Olin Rogers, who's the creator, has said he's trying to get a 1 hour thing going. Because he says I can close in 1 hour.
Okay.
If just given the chance. He had plans for like 6 seasons, apparently.
Oh, goddamn.
Which, boy, that's shooting for that's old school well, not old school. That's like before the 10s television.
Yeah, that's before streaming is a thing.
Yeah,
certainly.
And very optimistic.
6 seasons in a movie.
6 seasons in a movie. It's gonna. And so if he can wrap it up in an hour, I hope he gets it. I hope Adult Swim gets it done. But yeah, good show. Just be ready for that.
Okay.
And it is funny. Okay. Oh, and there's some genuinely heartbreaking shit. And you're like, wow, that's tough.
That's rough, buddy.
That's rough, buddy.
And then Kevin.
Yeah, it's Kevin, who's played by Fred Armisen. They got talent on that show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Conan, like I said, plays characters.
Tom Kenny voices like 8 people.
Yeah, Tom Kenny voices a bunch of people until he becomes the main character on the show.
Excellent.
Steven Yeun is a recurring is one of the main characters. Ashley Birch, Ron Funches.
Oh, I love Ron Funches.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a good show.
Very rad.
Good show.
I'm just frustrated about it.
Yeah. 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 What else? I think that's all I can think of at the moment because it's been a very hectic. Thanks to anyone who showed up to that 12-hour stream I mentioned. Holy shit, that was tiring.
Yeah.
I was gone in those last 2 hours. That was a fun ride.
Never again.
Never again. Never again. Other than that, yeah, that's all I can think of. So we got like 30 minutes left. Do you guys want to just things we're looking forward to?
For sure. Yeah.
All right. Nick, you go ahead then.
Well, looking forward to watching the Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I want to watch
it. Movie. In addition, looking forward to like I said, completing Welcome to NHK novels, and definitely looking forward to just those things at the moment.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right, Ian.
I'm looking forward to, let's see, this summer. August. There's this summer. Nobody knows what that is anymore. They don't do that anymore.
They don't know. They don't do
that. Sorry, I don't know what that is. I'm not old. I can't relate. This August, they're going to be releasing the sequel to Clown in a Cornfield, the novel.
I heard about that, yeah.
It's a really good book, guys. I really enjoyed it.
Should.
And it honestly reads so quickly. I finished it in like an afternoon, more or less.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So yeah, that I'm looking forward to. I am looking forward to the Andor TV show that's going to be coming out.
I heard that was announced. I don't even know what that is. Damn.
So the character Diego Luna plays in Rogue One is getting a show.
Oh, good. That's good.
Yeah.
Because Rogue One's the best Star Wars movie. Come at me.
And I really like Diego Luna.
Yeah.
I really like that. I guess actually it's almost like more than half of the Star Wars properties are all now led by Latino actors, which is kind of cool.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't think about it. Yeah, no, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Robert Rodriguez directed some of the better episodes too, like of all this.
Yeah. Christian Andor was just a cool character. I like Diego Luna as an actor. And they're going to be coming out with the next season of Mandalorian. They're going to be coming out with the first season of Diego Luna show. They're going to be coming out with the first season of Anakin's Padawan, played by Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, the one people get mad at if you don't.
I forget her name.
Ahsoka Todd.
Ahsoka Tana. Yeah.
Ahsoka Todd.
Ahsoka Tara.
Sakatoa.
Sakatumi. Fucking nailed it.
Krakatoa.
Don't worry, that would have played better to an older audience.
But we're young, so we don't
audience that are like our parents or grandparents.
I like this new bit I have where I'm just gonna keep going. Listen, it would have been funny if y'all were just different people.
Listen, if this was the 20s and you all had hats, this would be a very funny
this would be a very funny joke.
Right.
No, so that sounds cool. I didn't know it was Diego Luna and it's gonna be Rogue One. Smart.
Yeah, he's gonna be getting a show. I don't know how long they intend it to last, but as of my understanding, because his whole storyline is between episode 3 to episode 4, I believe.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm excited for all that stuff. Yeah,
Me too.
That seems cool. I might be taking a break from Marvel coming up, honestly.
I don't blame you, dude. Fucking,
it's a lot,
man. Yeah.
Because you've got what? Ms. Marvel. You've got you've got a handful of movies coming out this year, right? You've got like 4 more Marvel movies.
And there's superhero movies, so yeah.
Like,
I know.
Maybe I'll come back to it in a few months.
I might come back to She-Hulk, although I want to say those executives are a bunch of fucking cowards.
Go on.
She's not buff enough. And the artist specifically said they kept getting notes from on high, make her less buff.
Shorter.
That's sad.
Yeah. So luckily
like
she's still tall, and when she's carrying that dude, fucking yeah, man.
Like, can we all
it.
just address? Definitely, that's what all the men were asking for. We want to see big lady do things.
Yeah,
carry like a baby.
Well,
but she can't be muscular.
Like 9 feet tall. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what's her name? That they got back for Thor, who's like ripped now.
Oh, the Valkyrie, right?
Yeah.
I give you her name. She's also in Obi-Wan.
Oh, yeah.
I keep forgetting. Sorry.
Yeah, I forget too. But she's buffer than She-Hulk.
That's whack.
And it's like, no, She-Hulk's supposed to be like fucking whatever. Bunch of cowards.
Indeed.
Bunch of scared tiny men that
like,
don't know what they want.
Yeah, well, like personally, I think Marvel's Capcom 3's model for She-Hulk is perfect.
It's like one of the best ones, yeah.
Yeah, especially Red She-Hulk. It's cool.
So I say this, but I was thinking about Castle Super Beast was talking about this because they're on the same side as I am, and that we need big buff ladies. Where one of the jokes was the execs kept sending this down. I know we're in a situation where probably all of Hollywood executives are creepy, like sex criminals and/or pedophiles.
Sure.
And they're like, well, we can't have that because they're, we shouldn't listen to the execs because they're freaks. But then you look at the artists and you're like, they're also freaks.
Yeah.
So things won't happen certain ways.
I mean,
I just want my big buff lady.
Right.
Yeah.
Two thoughts I had. One is, let's to your point, to just yes and your point. I remember when they announced She-Hulk as a show.
Yeah.
And not the creator, but like one of the original artists of She-Hulk basically, he had this really garbage take wherein he was like, I want people to stop pretending that She-Hulk's not like a jerk toy. Like, the only reason we make her is so boys jerk off to her.
Wow, I didn't hear that.
Which is one of the like all-time worst takes I've ever heard.
That's dude. All you had to do was shut up and not say anything. You had your money. You just got your money. Wow, dude, that's shit. That's garbage.
Yeah, that's a bad take. The other thing,
because go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say is we're probably gonna get like a fuck ton of Hulkses soon.
Yeah, that seems like where we're going.
Yeah.
So, I will say, joking aside, although yeah, She-Hulk should be buffer. Joking aside, I'm a little bummed out. It doesn't look like it's gonna be court cases, and that's what I wanted. I wanted an Ally McBeal style,
but with a super lady,
but with She-Hulk and superheroes.
Okay.
But maybe we're not there yet, and people aren't ready for just a situational courtroom drama.
Listen, guys, if we're not ready now, then when?
I hope she's like, it's a lawyer case for some fucking superhero.
Well, Daredevil's gonna be in it.
Yeah.
Daredevil's back in it.
And I hope. Oh man, I hope this leads into like Deadpool showing up to Marvel, so we can have the She-Hulk Deadpool court cases.
That would be excellent.
Fucking amazing. But yeah. Anything else you're looking forward to, man?
No, that's the only thing I have to hope for.
I forgot to mention we watched the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan, but it's the first 2 episodes. There's nothing much to say.
Yeah.
Other than, there seems like there could be an exploration on maybe this Jedi shit doesn't work because it leads into a fascist. We slipped into a fascist dictatorship.
Yeah.
And maybe we got to really rethink about all this Jedi stuff. But that doesn't seem to be where the show's going, because it's more about like, what happened to you, man? You used to be a Jedi. Instead of like, actually thinking about all the fucking steps that led to this.
Yeah.
So whatever, Jedi are still gonna get away with their shit because they're inherently perfect, I guess.
Yeah, the Jedi do no wrong, guys. Didn't you know that?
Oh, dude, Star Wars sucks. Or I've said it before, I've said it again. I fucking hate Jedi. I think Jedi is the worst part of like stuff.
Man,
lightsabers
really
are cool.
Well, okay, here's something I am looking forward to, actually, that's kind of related. The Avatar studios have announced their first 2 movies.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah. I haven't watched the trailer.
I don't think a trailer's. I think it's just like a pre-production.
Oh, okay.
Like, we're making these, but there's going to be a movie about Fire Lord Zuko.
Oh, you mean Avatar: Last Airbender? I thought you were talking about James Cameron.
No, Avatar, the 4 Elemental studio.
I forgot about that.
They're doing 2 animated feature-length films.
Oh.
And one will be about Zuko right after the first show, but before Korra.
Yeah.
And the second movie will be about Kyoshi, because apparently everybody also wants her to crush them and dominate them like she...
Well, she is canonically the strongest out of all the avatars.
And the biggest, right? She's like super... Yeah. She's like a giant.
She's like... Yeah, she's super tall.
Yeah. She was like...
out of all the avatars we've seen, at least. Right? I think was the thing.
Yes.
One could argue Avatar 1 was the strongest because he started with nothing. And
Sure.
At the very least, but yeah. But that's bullshit. Who cares? Avatar Kyoshi's good.
But the bigger thought I was going to point out when comparing that to Star Wars is I like that they're going to do a whole movie that's not about the Avatar.
I like
they're
that
going to do a whole movie that's just
I like
this other guy is interesting enough.
Hey, you remember where it was like... Oh, go ahead, Nick.
No, I say that. I mean, you say that, but the ending.
So, sorry?
What's that? You robot it out.
Well, you say that, but then they're probably gonna have to connect or going to connect like these avatars to Aang and Korra.
Well, I mean they'll connect it, but it's ostensibly if it's a Zuko movie, I would hope that it's a Zuko movie. It's a movie about being the ruler of the Fire Nation after the war, which it's basically like the guy who got to be president of Germany in 1946. Like that's a hard job to pick up.
No, I get what you're saying.
There's potential for really good stuff.
No, and he's the best character on that show, so but yeah, I was gonna say remember that best part of Korra is when you're thinking like, oh man, they're gonna address all the fucked up shit benders do and how regular people have to clean that up, and then they don't.
Nope.
And it's cool. It's be grateful, you insolent cur.
Be grateful we let you stay here.
That we walk on and I don't just fry you in the streets.
That's right.
Anyway, what am I looking forward to? The Cronenberg movie comes out this weekend.
Crimes of the Future.
I'm gonna have to figure out how to watch it safely because movie theaters are so fucked. But I need to watch that movie. That's the big one. I think Cronenberg. Oh, I'm gonna watch Doctor Strange, all that jazz. Oh, I want to watch RRR. I haven't had a chance to yet. Ian, do you know? Do you not know what RRR is?
I don't.
RRR is a Hindi movie, action musical with one of the greatest movie trailers I've seen in a long time.
Okay.
And according to everyone, it is a non-stop train that is just like that trailer.
Okay.
For 3 hours.
Okay.
And it makes other movies look like shit.
Fucking Godfather horseshit.
I need to watch this fucking movie. So it's on Netflix, so I'm gonna watch it, but I just need to find 3 hours that I can sit down and watch something.
Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna be working on the game and working on other projects. So things are gonna get busy. Streams are probably gonna go down to at least 1 a week, if most 2. So be wary of that. I'm not sure what game I'm gonna do quite yet, although I have a bunch of ideas, so I might go with those. I don't want to do another long form one like Elden Ring.
Right.
Something a lot shorter would be nice. So that's pretty much it on my end.
Okay.
You all good?
Yeah, man. We good.
Cool. You know they have those stupid spinning lightsabers in Obi-Wan?
I did not know that. I haven't watched it yet.
When Nick pointed it out to me, I went, oh god, I hope they don't use it. And then what happens, Nick?
And then they use it. They fly away.
Then they fly away like in the show.
Yeah.
Oh my god, those things are so... Oh god, I fucking hate them. Alright, I'm gonna... Star Wars sucks. I don't know why people think Star Wars is good. Goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Huh? I think you're getting ahead of yourself.
Yeah, your first plan should be getting by us.
Though you call yourselves bladers, you don't know the real truth about bay blading. There is a tremendous power hidden within bays. Since ancient times, the existence of bays can be found in moments throughout history. The power of Beyblades have been used to change the course of rivers and oceans. They have been used to defeat many armies and create huge empires.
You wouldn't be so tough without that helmet, little brother.
You're on, Proto Man. Plasma power! Missed me again, number one, son.
But I won't miss this time.
Oh no! He's gonna blast President Lincoln!
Ha! I knew you'd risk yourself for Mr. Lincoln.
Simpson scandal update. Homer sleeps nude in an oxygen tent, which he believes gives him sexual powers.
Hey, that's a half-truth.
Shara, will you grant me one more wish? I wish for a mountain of handkerchiefs. Now, just let yourself cry, as much as you need to. You'll have plenty of handkerchiefs to help you through it.
Well, sir, treason season started early this year as a nuclear sub was hijacked by local man Homer Simpson.
Oh my God! I told him that photo would come back to haunt him.
Could Homer Simpson be a communist? His father spoke out on his behalf.
My Homer is not a communist. He may be a liar, a pig, an idiot, a communist, but he is not a porn star.
Hero call! This trap card lets me pick a monster and put him on the top of my deck. And I choose this. Elemental hero, Neos. Not so fast. Thanks to my stage select spell, he won't be there for long. Cause now I get to shuffle your deck. So how do you like this? Bada bing! I'll shuffle these boys real good.
でも先輩結構みんなに優しいじゃん。なんか声かけてくれたりとか。でも香水もらったらなんかこんなんくれるって。嘘好きすぎ合うのすっごい恥ずかしい。うわ明日バイトなんだけど。いつでもそこに。マジで
Iris!
Sarah,
Hang in there, Iris.
please, stay away from Replophos. Let's live together. In a world where only Reploids exist.
Iris, there's no world just for Reploid. It's only a fantasy.
Yes, I know, but I wanted to believe it. I wanted to live in a world where only Reploids exist. With you.
Iris! 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 Iris!
isn't happening. There's no reason for me to go on. What am I fighting for?
Now it's time for the Pizza Head Show.
Hey, everybody! I'm done trick-or-treating, and now I'm gonna go for a stuffed crust pizza at Pizza Hut. Yay!
Not yet, Pizza Head. There's one more place to go.
I don't think anyone's home.
Sure there is.
Hello, trick-or-treat! Interesting hieroglyphics on this pizza.
Quick, Pizza Head, let's go upstairs.
Hey, who is here anyway?
It's your host, Count Steve.
Oh, nice place. You got it. I want to go to Pizza Hut now!
The Count will be happy to give you a lift.
Ooh, hey, put me down! Put me down!
See you next time.
I know a place that's peaceful and quiet. A place where animals play. It's called the forest, but every year we start forest fires. A careless match or cigarette and poof, fire. So the next time you're in the forest, be extra careful, okay?
If you knew it was me, would you have listened?
Will you hold it down out there? You guys are always fighting!
Enid Clinton, we've got business with your husband. What? John? Hal Jordan, another time shift. I'm up to speed. Carry on. No booby traps. At least none that my ring can detect.
Make up your mind, would you?
뭐냐?
Have you noticed any change in Bart?
New glasses?
No, he looks like something might be disturbing him.
Probably misses his old glasses.
I guess we could get more involved in Bart's activities, but then I'd be afraid of smothering him.
Yeah, and then we'd get the chair.
That's not what I meant.
It was, Marge, admit it.
What's so special about Splinter?
Yo, dude, it's like Splinter's our dad, you know? I mean, what's so special about your dad?
Pepsi for TV game.
Mmm, 64 slices of American cheese. 64. 63. 2. 1.
Have you been up all night eating cheese?
I think I'm blind.
What? Good day to you.
My mother risked her life for me, and now you too. I should have saved you. I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light!
chase you to the ends of the earth! I defeated you once, and I shall do it again!
No, Magneto. I let you win before, in order to learn your plan, to trap you. But now the victory belongs to the Fantastic Four.
Fool! Have you forgotten my invincible magnetic power? No mere weapon can stop me. With but a gesture, I can destroy it, or turn it against you. Behold! I'll make it leap from your hand, and make you its target. Now!
Not this time, Magneto. This time I'm fighting for real.
It's impossible! It cannot be! Nothing can defy my magnetic power!
The Fantastic Four can. You're finished, Magneto. Surrender. You have no other choice.
Why? Why will the gun not obey me? My power is gone. I'm helpless. Magnetism. It was my greatest weapon.
Okay, Richards. We'll take care of him now.
First tell me, how did you do it? How did you take away my power?
I didn't, Magneto. I merely tricked you.
You lie. I couldn't control your gun. You made me lose my magnetism.
You're wrong. I just guessed that you'd overlook one simple thing. Your magnetic power only works on metal, like all magnets. But my gun isn't real. I made it out of wood, specially to fool you.
Wood? A wooden gun?
That's why your power didn't work. And it's why you're a prisoner of the police now. Take him away, man.
A wooden gun. He tricked me with a wooden gun.
We can't bust heads like we used to, but we have our ways.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you got it.
One trick is to tell them stories that don't go anywhere. Like the time I caught the ferry over to Shelbyville. I needed a new heel for my shoe. So I decided to go to Morganville, which is what they call Shelbyville in those days. So I tied an onion to my belt, which was the style at the time. Now, to take the ferry cost a nickel, and in those days, nickels had pictures of bumblebees on them. Give me 5 B's for a quarter, you'd say. Now, where were we? Oh, yeah. The important thing was that I had an onion on my belt, which was the style at the time. They didn't have white onions because of the war. The only thing you could get was those big yellow ones.